The first thing this young man did upon returning to the day before the apocalypse was to slaughter his family's entire herd of cattle. Everyone thought he had gone mad, because these cows were the Chu family's most valuable asset. His girlfriend thought he was doing this to gather money for a betrothal gift to propose to her, so she told him to stop and think. Even if he sold everything, he wouldn't be able to scrape together 10 billion. Moreover, she had recently secured herself a wealthy sugar daddy. But before she could finish, Chu Duet told her to get lost and not delay his slaughter of the cows. Hearing this, she gritted her teeth in anger and turned to leave in a fury. At this moment, Chu Duet's parents heard the commotion and rushed over to urge him to put down the knife. They said whatever the problem was, they could discuss it calmly. If he slaughtered the cows, how would their family survive? Hearing their familiar voices, Chu Duet gradually regained his composure and involuntarily dropped the knife. Seeing his parents safe and sound before him, he trembled and tears streamed down his face. Why? In about 2 hours, the zombie apocalypse will descend. Chu Duet remembered the horrific scenes from his past life. Initially, it was mostly livestock that underwent a mutation, transforming into bloodthirsty beasts. They attacked all living things. And soon after, humans who were bitten began to exhibit similar symptoms. They lost their minds, suffered immensely, and craved only flesh and blood. Anyone bitten or scratched by them was doomed. A month later, the infected numbered over half the global population. And just a year later, fewer than 1 million survivors remain. In my past life, I faced this sudden mutation, bewildered and unprepared. Father, mother, older brother, little sister, I couldn't protect any of them. His gaze hardened with resolve. I don't know why I was reborn, but since I have this second chance, I will definitely not let that tragedy happen again. A moment ago, he had been reborn to the time before the apocalypse. They called out, "Second son, what are you doing?" Hearing his parents' voices, Chu Duet immediately looked over and saw Jian Hao trying to reason with him. Whatever the problem is, we can discuss it together. Why slaughter the cattle? Ta Fuang, standing beside him, agreed. That's right, Xiao Duet, put the knife down first. Seeing his parents, the knife in his hand fell to the ground. Father, mother, Chu Duet's lips pressed together in relief. Thank goodness. His shoulders trembled. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Unable to contain his emotions, Chu Duet rushed to embrace his parents. Everyone's all right. This is truly wonderful. The neighbors, witnessing this emotional scene, couldn't help but scoff. What is this, a movie set? He declared firmly, Father, mother, don't worry. This time, I'll protect you both. Chu Duet was determined. And my older brother and little sister, I absolutely will not let any harm come to them. Ta Fuang, hearing her son speaking such strange things, became worried. Xiao Duet, what's wrong with you? Jian Hao, standing beside them, was equally worried. What do you mean by hurt or not hurt? What nonsense are you talking about? Chu Duet firmly told his parents, Dad, I'm not crazy. These oxen must be slaughtered. I can't explain the reason right now. Chu Duet's eyes were resolute. But if you trust me, don't stop me. Jian Hao and Ta Fong looked at each other. Then Jian Hao sighed, making Ta Fong anxious. Lao Zhu. Jian Hao picked up the knife from the ground and explained, Son, I don't know why you want to slaughter the oxen, but I know you're the student your mother and I raised, and you certainly know more than we do. His father's heartfelt words moved Chu Duet. Dad, his touching moment didn't last long. Jian Hao pulled him along. Come on, I'll help you slaughter the oxen. Seeing the two of them like this, Ta Fong sighed helplessly. A neighbor woman tried to intervene. A Fong, quickly persuade your Lao Chu. Your son is crazy. Don't let him drag his father into his craziness too. Hearing her family being insulted, Ta Fong angrily retorted, You're the crazy one. Then, she joined her husband and son, declaring, I'll help you too as well. Seeing that they couldn't stop the Chu family, the neighbors dispersed. It's over, it's over. The whole Chu family has gone mad. No wonder Lao heir of the Chu family was dumped by Miss Li. Who would want him when he's this crazy? Chu Duet checked the time on his phone. No, there's not enough time. Less than 4 hours left. I have to hurry. He called out to the neighbors. I need 3 people to slaughter oxen. Cinquecento yuan per ox. Hearing the price, the neighbors stopped. Several people volunteered. I'm strong, let me do it. Another person interrupted. Don't listen to him. He's skinny and weak. I'm the better choice. Chu Duet made his selection. All right, you and the guy on the left. He chose a large, strong man. Right? You come over here too. The 3 immediately went to help Jian Hao and Ta Fong butcher the oxen. Seeing that the slaughtering was almost finished, he made a call. Boss Zhang, it's Xiao Chu. Yes, I'm selling all the oxen. Cash only. Yes, it's urgent. I can give you half the market price. Boss Zhang, could you recommend me to other meat vendors? I'll give you a discount if I can sell them all. Okay, I'll be at the ox pen. Thanks for your trouble. After a while, all the oxen were sold, exchanged for a large bag of money. He was counting the money when Ta Fong called him over. Xiao Duet, we lost tens of thousands this time. Chu Duet put the money in the bag and assured them, Dad, Mom, you'll soon know why I had to do this. He hoisted the bag onto his shoulder. Go back home now. Before I return, no matter what happens outside, don't open the metal door. Don't go anywhere. Jianhao had complete faith in Chu Duet. Go on. Xiao Duet doesn't hesitate when he has important things to do. He persuaded Ta Fong. If we trust him, all we can do is support him. After getting into the truck, he didn't forget to remind them, remember what I said. Lock all the doors in the house. No matter what happens outside, don't go out. Finally, Chu Duet left the village in the old truck. The time was now 4:11 p.m. Then, I went to town and bought a lot of tools. A diesel generator with enough diesel fuel, various electrical wires, flashlights, nylon rope, and a few batteries. Self-defense tools like electric saws, hammers, axes, and iron shovels, all of them. I swept the pharmacy clean of first aid supplies like painkillers, antibiotics, bandages, and the like. Then, and most importantly, explosives. In the coming situation, only firepower can give one the upper hand. A sufficient amount of explosives can even make one a person in control. Lin Xiang showed disdain as soon as he saw Chu Duet. The security guard downstairs said someone was here to discuss a big deal, and I wondered who it could be. Isn't this our young secretary's ex-lover? He slammed a bag of money on the table and stated firmly, I'm really here to discuss business, Lin Xiang. The bag was opened to reveal the money inside, 100,000 yuan in cash. He raised an eyebrow at the sight of the cash. Wait a minute, 100,000. Then he looked up and asked Li Jin, isn't this what you before? Suddenly, Lin Xiang seemed to understand something and smirked. I get ha. He laughed uncontrollably. Ha, you really are a lovesick fool. Chu Duet. Lin Xiang thought Chu Duet was truly stupid. Li Jin said she wanted a betrothal gift of 100,000, and you actually scraped it together. Seeing the misunderstanding, Chu Duet immediately explained, Lin, Mr. Lin, that's not it. I have nothing to do with her anymore. Ignoring Lin Xiang's words, Chu Duet made his offer. 1,000 kilograms of black powder. I have 100,000. I want to buy your black powder. Lin Xiang was silent for a moment, then spoke. Listen here, student, are you trying to trick me? We're a legitimate business. We don't deal in illegal goods. Chu Duet seemed to have found Lin Xiang's weakness. Whether you're dealing in illegal goods or not, I don't know, but last December at the Chongfeng factory, a woman in a blue dress. She probably knows quite a bit. Right, Lin Xiang. Chu Duet held out the cash and repeated his offer. 100,000, sell me the black powder. That way, we both have leverage and you won't have to worry about me running my mouth. What do you say? After a moment of silence, Lin Xiang instructed Li Jin. I recall, our remaining inventory hasn't been checked, has it? The weather's been damp lately. The explosives might have gotten wet. They need to be dealt with. Go arrange for them to be disposed of. Have that student take what's left. Given the task, Li Jin had no choice but to comply. Yes, sir. Is he buying explosives just to drag me into this? She brushed past Chu Duet. Chu Duet immediately spoke with gratitude. Miss Li has been very kind to my family in the past, and we are very grateful. In the future, if you encounter any difficulties, I will help you once. That is my promise. Li Jin didn't seem pleased. He turned away. Well then, Lin Xiang, pleasant doing business with you. Chu Duet left, leaving her there. Lin Xiang was amused. Ha ha, interesting, very interesting, Chu Duet. A thunderstorm began to brew in the sky. Chu Duet had driven the supplies back home. He got out of the truck, thinking to himself, only half an hour left, still enough time, as long as nothing unexpected happens. With that, Chu Duet called out towards the house. Dad, Mom, I'm home. A voice immediately answered from inside, coming. Xiafeng opened the door and stepped out, asking, what was all that about today? Chu Shu was surprised to see Chu Duet return. Big brother, you're back. Chu Shu questioned, I heard people say you sold all the oxen. Chu Duet, without time to explain, asked, I'll explain later. Where's Xiao Mei? Chu Shu immediately replied, her. She's not back yet. Chu Duet, unloading supplies, was shocked by the news. What? Xiao Mei isn't home yet. He became worried. In the previous life, she was home by now. Could it be E.M.Y actions caused a butterfly effect? Fearing for Chu On's safety, Chu Duet hurried to the truck. I'm going to find her. He didn't forget to remind Chu's Shu, brother, remember what I said. Absolutely do not go outside. I'll bring Xiao Mei back quickly. Chu Shu called after him, way to do it. Seeing him drive off, Chu Shu simply said, go quickly, come back quickly. The truck sped down the road. The first day is when the most animal mutations occur. The number of human mutations is very small, but schools are where people gather, so it'll happen much faster there than in the village. What if Xiao Mei is still at school? No, she wouldn't be. He sped the truck along. In this life, I absolutely will not lose anyone. Suddenly, he hit something on the road. The impact jolted Chu Duet. The truck immediately slowed down. Chu Duet leaned out to look. What was that? He was utterly shocked. Seeing the creature he'd run over, he realized, it slowly started to get up. Chu Duet immediately recognized it. Mutation got ahead of schedule. 1 hour earlier, at Chuan's school, Chuan's classmates gossiped about her brother. Did you hear? About that Chu Duet. The news had already spread, selling off his family's assets just for a bride price. Si Zuhan Opelis con Chu Duet. He's truly Qing Shan Town's #1 lovesick fool. She turned to Chuan, taunting her. Being his sister must be so painful, right, Chuan? Seeing Chuan's lack of response, she continued to badmouth Chu Duet. But I heard that woman is close to the owner of the Lin fireworks factory. That Chu Duet's brain must be broken. I bet his whole family is a bit. Chuan slammed her hand on the desk. She stood up abruptly, but Xie Yuhan, unafraid, only provoked her further. So fierce. She showed Chuan the picture of him slaughtering the oxen. Isn't it true? Your parents are going crazy because of him. Isn't your whole family's brain? Before she could finish, Chuan slapped her hard across the face. Xie Yuhan, enraged, jumped to her feet. Chuan, do you want to die? Chuan gelang set azun. Spotting their teacher, she walked past Xie Yuhan, confusing her. What are you doing? Chuan bent down and picked up her phone. Just as the teacher entered, Chuan held up Xie Yuhan's phone. Xie Yuhan, excuse me. I'm putting your phone down. I'll return it to you now. The teacher saw the phone in Chuan's hand and confiscated it. Li Xie Yuhan, next time I confiscate your phone, you won't get it back. School rules prohibit phones. I'll tell your father to come and collect it. The teacher glanced at Chuan. And Chuan, get back to your seat. She smiled brightly in response. Yes, teacher. Chuan walked down casually, not forgetting to taunt. Sorry, Xie Yuhan. I didn't see the homeroom teacher coming. Next time, I'll pay more attention. Seeing her smug face, Si Zuhan was Futhia Ju An. Finally, school ended. Students left one after another, but she was stopped and bullied. Seeing that she couldn't fight back, they became arrogant. Weren't you quite talkative just now? Why are you mute now? Then they grabbed Chuan's hair and challenged, come on, make a sound. She remembered in pain, I forgot I had cleaning duty with her today. Xie Yuhan, now completely unreasonable, took out a box cutter and threatened, not talking, huh? Then let me help you open your mouth. Meanwhile, Chu Duet was still driving at full speed to Chuan's school. He felt relieved as he was almost there. The school is just ahead. Suddenly, Chu Duet was surprised when he saw students running out of the school in panic. Run. On the other side, the box cutter in Xie Yuhan's hand fell to the blood-stained floor. Chuan was shocked when she saw Xie Yuhan's mouth full of blood. She coughed continuously, making Chuan worried. Hey, Xie Yuhan, are you okay? The amount of blood seemed significant. Chuan turned and ran quickly. Looking outside, she saw utter chaos. Someone's hurt here. She was terrified. What's going on? At this moment, a zombie noticed Chuan. It lunged at her with hungry eyes, making her crouch down in fear. Don't come near me. Don't come near me. After a while, Xie Yuhan completed her transformation into a zombie, making Chuan anxious. No, Xie Yuhan. She groaned, then looked up, revealing a gruesome face. She lunged towards Chuan, making her terrified. It's coming. She used her hands to block Xie Yuhan. Damn it. But she seemed to have lost her strength. She screamed, help. Damn, brother. Just as she finished speaking, a foot flew in, kicking Xie Yuhan to the side. Chuan slowly opened her eyes and saw Chu Duet calling out, brother. Xie Yuhan was kicked away, but there was still another zombie nearby. He held the box cutter and teased her. You screamed for help so pathetically. The zombie lunged, but Chu Duet quickly slashed it horizontally. He finished it off in one blow. I could hear you from so far away. He turned back, smiled, and continued to tease Chuan. Later, I'll use this to cover your cries, little sister. Her eyes filled with tears as she looked at him, then scolded, get lost, stupid brother. The rain poured down, Under the highway, a zombie was biting someone. Then it noticed the headlights behind it. The car didn't stop, but hit the zombie, sending it flying. Chuan, sitting in the car, touched the bloodstains on the window and called out, "Brother, that was dangerous." Her face was full of fear, unable to believe this was real. Is this a zombie game? It feels so real. That kick at school was really cool too. Xie Yuhan flew so far. Knowing that Chuan was trying to be strong, Chu Duet interrupted, "Enough. If you're scared, cry. It's okay. I won't laugh at you this time." Chuan looked distantly with a melancholic gaze. "I want you to understand the reality, Xie Yuhan. The world has changed. Little sister, there'll be more and more zombies eating people. Both you and I have to learn to adapt to survive. Although I say that, Chu Duet slides soon. Don't worry. I will protect you. Our whole family will be safe. I promise you." Chuan smiled brightly after hearing this. She said, her smile full of trust. "Brother, I believe you." The sky was now completely dark, and the moonlight shone down on the peaceful village. At this moment, Chu Shu's voice rang out from inside the house. "Dad, Mom are back." The family quickly opened the door. They saw Chuan, and Chu Duet had returned safely. "Xiao Duet, little sister, you're finally back." Their father asked anxiously, "Did anything happen at home?" Ta Fuang recounted what had happened. "Just now, someone was calling outside. Your father, and I didn't dare open the door. It's over now." Chu Duet became suspicious after hearing this. "This situation is really strange. In my past life, only 3 to 5 people disappeared from the village. And since zombies are afraid of light, the second day should have given us enough time to prepare our defenses. But now it seems even tonight isn't guaranteed." Chu Shu finally asked the question he had wanted to ask earlier. "Duet, why did you buy so many supplies? It's like you're preparing for a war." Chu Duet didn't have much time to explain, so he told his family, "I'll explain everything when we get back inside. Dad, and I will bring the things from the car into the house first. Hurry up." He then gave a serious instruction. "No matter what happens, protect this family. I'm going to find someone, and we'll be back soon." Ta Fuang worried, "Shout Duet, but..." "Mom, Dad, listen to Brother Duet." She realized something. Brother Duet, he seems different somehow. Hearing Chuan's words, Chu Duet also felt it. "Little sister, your feeling is right. Back at the school, it felt like something changed in my body. It's just the right time to verify it. Moreover, with this chaotic situation, if I can find that person, if she has the same abilities as in my past life, then she would be an invaluable help." At this moment, a cry for help echoed from a building. "Hurry, I can't hold on any longer. What's wrong with these people?" Bing Bing struggled to barricade the door from the inside, trying to reason with the zombies. "Everyone, please calm down. I know you're anxious about your missing loved ones. We're doing our best to search for them. There's no need to resort to biting." Suddenly, a zombie hand smashed through the glass and reached in. Bing Bing's colleague, armed with a bat, stood ready. "Xiao Xia, get back. We found a weapon." Hearing this, Bing Bing ran out the door, looking back with a worried expression. The zombies outside pushed over the cabinet and surged in. One fell heavily to the ground, catching her attention. Her face filled with worry. She wondered, what's going on? At that moment, someone appeared on top of the cabinet. Chu Duet, single-handedly, had taken down all the zombies. His crimson eyes gradually faded. Seeing Chu Duet, Bing Bing's colleague exclaimed with relief, "The Chu family's kid, Chu Duet." His gaze turned serious, making her afraid. Suddenly, a splatter of blood erupted as Chu Duet lunged forward. He used his knife to stop a zombie that was about to bite Bing Bing, quickly dispatching it with a single blow. Blood sprayed everywhere, obscuring her vision. Chu Duet. Suddenly, Chu Duet grabbed Bing Bing's face, making her bewildered. He observed her and recalled his past life. Fortunately, her eyes and pupils aren't infected with zombie blood. Xiao Bing Bing, right now that doesn't show the strength she had after the disaster in his past life. Chu Duet worriedly inquired about Bing Bing's injuries. "Are you hurt anywhere? Were you scratched by these things or bitten by anyone?" But she quickly avoided his gaze and stammered a denial. No. Uncle Neo, witnessing Chu Duet's previous fight, became frightened. "Xiao Duet, you, what was that?" Huang Tao stepped forward to protect Bing Bing. "Xiao Duet, if there's a conflict, we can discuss it and resolve it. But you can't kill people." He explained helplessly, "Uncle Neo, Brother Huang, I didn't kill anyone. They aren't human anymore. They've all turned into zombies. If you get zombie blood in a wound, you'll become one of them." Huang Tao found it absurd. "Zombies? Don't joke. This isn't some end-of-the-world novel. Look at the person you just killed. That was old Zhang. His granddaughter hasn't even come home from school yet. My wife, Exine too. According to what you're saying, they've also..." Uncle Neo then offered a solution. We should still report this to the police station. The village committee probably won't be able to handle this kind of thing. Chu Duet objected. Reporting to the police is useless. Suddenly, clapping interrupted them. Everyone, listen up. Lin Xiang appeared, accusing him. A murderer, driven to this extent. That's such brutal and cruel methods. Dozens of lives in his hands, and he still says reporting to the police is useless. The surrounding people were agitated and started shouting, "Catch him! Catch the murderer! Catch the murderer! Catch the murderer!" Lin Xiang looked at Chu Duet smugly. You even came up with a zombie excuse. Don't tell me you're saying you have superpowers. The clamor continued, prompting Bing Bing to step forward. Wait a minute, everyone, please listen to me. The village cadre will help us. Hearing this, everyone immediately stopped. She began to persuade them. Our village committee will naturally help everyone and won't unjustly detain anyone. But it's also true that Chu Duet just saved us. These attacks, that the people in our village have lost their minds. Everyone needs to understand that. Chu Duet didn't want Bing Bing to keep explaining for him. All right, thank you, Xia Bing Bing. He offered his own proof. Everyone, I can prove these people are zombies, and I can also guess where your missing family members are. If someone comes with me to verify it, they'll know the truth. Chu Duet looked at Lin Xiang provocatively. So, Lin Xiang, since you suspect me, why don't you come with me and see? What do you say? Do you dare? Lin Xiang hesitated. This Chu Duet definitely has a problem. He gathered so many supplies in town during the day, even stockpiled explosives, and now this strange incident happens at night. Somehow he knew about it. He must die. Chu Duet addressed the villagers. So many people have suddenly disappeared from the village, and recently, the only place with few people in good cover is the mountain forest behind us. He walked towards Lin Xiang. Lin Xiang, didn't you conclude that I'm a murderer and that zombies don't exist? Why not come verify it with me? Or, in other words, are you afraid? Upon hearing this, Lin Xiang agreed. Being an ordinary person, he was naturally afraid of someone like Chu Duet, who he perceived as a murderer. He made up his mind, but for the safety of everyone in the village, and to find everyone's missing loved ones, what's wrong with me going with you? Lin Xiang gestured towards his henchman. However, I have to bring people I trust. You don't have a problem with that, do you? Looking at Lin Xiang's imposing group of henchmen, Chu Duet thought to himself, Lin Xiang, sooner or later, I'll make you spill your secrets. Suddenly, Bing Bing raised her hand and volunteered. Then I'll go too. Uncle Neo, worried about her, quickly stopped her. No, Xiao Xia, this is too dangerous. Huang Tao was equally concerned. That's right. We haven't figured out the situation yet, so it's best not to act rashly. Bing Bing quickly reasoned with him. Brother Huang, Uncle Neo, we are village officials. Now that the village secretary isn't here, we should take the lead. Hearing this, Chu Duet asked the village secretary, where did he go? She recalled and explained, starting this afternoon, we were searching for information about the missing people in the village. The secretary, worried about the villagers, went out to look for them, but he hasn't returned yet. Huang Tao became dejected. My wife, Xian, is also missing. There's still no news of her. He seemed to realize something. Could it be? Huang Tao adjusted his glasses and decided, I'll go with you too. Xiao Xia is right. Even the secretary is facing the danger. We have no reason to be afraid and back down. Moreover, Chu Duet, you have a clue. As village officials, we have a duty to investigate the truth. Uncle Neo seemed persuaded and sighed. Then, holding his car keys, he decided, all right, let's go. Wait for me to settle the villagers here. We'll take the 2 cars at the entrance. Uncle Neo silently hoped, I hope everything is all right. After a while, they finally arrived at the location. Bing Bing got out of the car and shone her flashlight. It really is the secretary's car. Uncle Neo touched the car, assessing it. Judging by the warmth of the hood, whoever left the car did so only recently. Huang Tao, beside him, tried calling the secretary's phone. The secretary's phone still isn't going through. Chu Duet stood to the side, recalling his previous life. In my past life, the zombie wave came 3 days later. I remember the wave came from this direction, but later, I simply didn't have the strength to investigate the cause. If things are still developing like my previous life, perhaps now, while the situation isn't too serious, I can completely resolve this zombie wave. And the most important thing is to gain Xia Bing Bing's trust. He suddenly spoke up. It seems we found the right place. Now we just need to go further into the forest and search carefully. Hearing this, Uncle Neo agreed. It can only be this way. Lin Xiang, trailing behind, had a darkened expression. Then, they all entered the forest to search. Is anyone there? Secretary, are you there? After walking for a while without seeing anyone, Bing Bing became tired. This forest is too big. We've been walking for so long and haven't even seen a shadow of a person. Chutut refuted her statement. No, there were a lot of people here not long ago. There are footprints in the undergrowth, broken branches, bloodstains everywhere. All of this indicates that many people passed through here not long ago. He recognized the typical signs of zombie gatherings after the apocalypse. Chuduit was a little incredulous, but it's only the first day of the zombie outbreak. Isn't this too fast? The reason for all these changes is definitely up ahead. After walking for a while, Chuduit called out, "Stop." He then laid out a plan. There's a cave up ahead. It'll be too dangerous for this many people to go in. I'll scout ahead first. Lin Xiang, who hadn't spoken until now, suddenly said, "Only you going in there. What if the scene of your assault is up ahead? Are you trying to clean up the scene and destroy the evidence by yourself?" Chuduit didn't show any reaction to Lin Xiang's attitude. The atmosphere became so still that they could hear the insects chirping. Bing Bing looked at Chuduit worriedly. Chuduit sighed helplessly. Lin Xiang, you really are that a cowardly loudmouth. If you're not afraid of dying, then come with me. Want to guess if there are piles of corpses inside? Lin Xiang was speechless after hearing this. He fearfully realized that Chuduit, this kid, really wanted to kill him just now. Then, he couldn't help but let out an amused chuckle. Interesting, very interesting. What exactly happened to your body? Could your secret be in the cave behind you? Lost in thought, he suddenly turned around and discovered a zombie appearing behind him. It had just arrived, but Chuduit quickly dodged it. Failing to catch anyone, the zombie mimicked crying sounds, making Huang Tao think it was his wife. Han, is that you?" Huang Tao dropped the stick in his hand and moved towards the zombie, repeatedly asking, "Why are you here? I've been trying to contact you all afternoon. I've been so worried." Chuduit quickly turned around to stop him. "Wait, don't touch it." But Huang Tao, oblivious, embraced the zombie joyfully. "It's good that you're all right." He didn't notice the zombie opening its mouth to bite him, but Chuduit managed to block it with his knife, startling Huang Tao. Han. Chuduit wanted Huang Tao to understand the reality. That's not Han anymore. With that, Chuduit swung his hand and killed the zombie. Blood splattered on Huang Tao's face. He asked worriedly, "Huang Tao, did she hurt you just now?" But Huang Tao, blinded by grief, didn't care. "You killed Han. You killed Han. Killed Han." Tears streamed down Huang Tao's face as he blamed Chuduit. "Murderer, you'll pay for Han's life." Huang Tao picked up his weapon. "Chuduit, you murderer, pay for Han's life." Bing Bing and Uncle Neo were worried by Huang Tao's reaction. Lin Xiang, however, was pleased. Huang Tao swung his weapon at Chuduit, but in a flash, Huang Tao was knocked back by Chuduit, falling hard to the ground. Chuduit understood Huang Tao's feeling. Anger is fine, resentment is fine, regret is also fine. No matter how you feel right now, it won't change the fact that Han turned into a zombie. So I had to kill her. I just want those who are still alive to continue living. Huang Tao refused to listen. "Everything you're saying is nonsense." He argued back. "Han was my wife, my family. If I killed your family in front of you, could you still calmly say those words?" Hearing these words, Chuduit remembered the scene of his family's death in his past life. He couldn't stay calm anymore and asked, "What did you just say?" Chuduit lunged forward. Chuduit grabbed Huang Tao by the throat, lifting him high. His voice was dark as he asked, "Was I too lenient with you? I wasted my time coming here to answer your questions, saving your lives one by one. And this is how you repay me." He declared to everyone, "Anyone who dares to touch my family, I will kill them." Seeing this, Bing Bing and Uncle Neo ran forward to intervene. "Chuduit, stop." Lin Xiang, standing to the side, gloated, "Just as I thought, Chuduit. You really are a crazy murderer." He hadn't finished speaking when he realized something. "Who's there?" At that moment, someone appeared, blocking Chuduit's knife-wielding hand. It was Chushu. Chushu pleaded, "Calm down, Chuduit." Seeing no reaction, Chushu understood. He tilted his head back and headbutt Chuduit hard. The knife fell from his hand, and Huang Tao was flung away. Chushu landed on top of Chuduit, who finally came to his senses, confused. "Brother." Seeing him awake, Chushu sighed in relief. "Little brother, you're finally back." Chuduit asked, bewildered, "Brother, why are you here?" Chushu quickly shifted the blame. "Wasn't I worried about you? You were gone for so long without any news." Huang Tao, lying on the ground, sobbed uncontrollably. "Han, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's my fault I couldn't protect you. Unable to bear Huang Tao's grief, Chu Shu yelled, "Get up, Huang Tao." He reasoned with him about A Han. I understand. She can't come back. What my brother did wasn't wrong. He actually saved your life. But I understand how you feel. If you want to blame someone, blame me. But we have to look forward. You're our village official. There are still many people here who need you. Huang Tao fell silent, then took Chu Shu's hand in understanding. You're right. Save people. I can still save others. Seeing Chu Shu resolve the situation peacefully, Chu Duet was pleased. Big Brother has really matured. So tactful, taking care of everyone's feelings. He reminisced, when we were young, even though we're brothers, we had opposite personalities. Big Brother was always popular in the village, while I had no friends. But no matter what happened, he always protected me. Thinking of this, Chu Duet punched Chu Shu's shoulder. Chu Shu asked curiously, "What's up?" He immediately denied it. Nothing. He resolved inwardly, "This time, I'll protect you." After the situation outside was settled, a cry for help echoed from within the cave. "Help! Help!" Bing Bing immediately recognized the voice. "That's the party secretary." Chu Duet stood up, stopping her. "Don't be rash." She hesitated, but the party secretary, he seemed to realize something strange. The cries for help ceased, replaced by weeping sounds from within the cave. A frightened voice asked Lin Xiang, "Mr. Lin, there aren't really zombies, are there?" That woman just now seemed equally scared. He shouted, "Shut up. If you keep talking nonsense, get out." At this moment, a tall, burly man stepped forward, eager to show off. "Coward! Mr. Lin, watch me." He entered the cave, calling out, "Who's playing these tricks? Come out here." But after walking for a while, the lantern fell, making everyone panic. Here, could it be inside? That guy at first was whole, but after a while, half of him was gone. Inside the cave at this moment, it was full of zombies. There were so many of them that it was terrifying. Then one grabbed the head and shone the light forward, startling everyone. Lin Xiang, seeing the scene before him, was frightened. "Here, what the hell is this?" At this moment, the zombies rushed towards the villagers. "What's happening?" Chu Duet was worried. This time, the number was far greater than he had imagined. Even if he could escape, there was still Bing Bing and Huang Tao. He shouted to inform the villagers, "Follow me closely." Suddenly, someone grabbed Chu Duet's shirt and rushed towards the zombies, scattering them. Chu Shu teased him, "At a time like this, you're still showing off." The zombies were knocked down, but got back up, surprising Chu Shu. "They can still get up after taking my hits. Do these things have any weaknesses?" Chu Duet lazily replied, "Their weaknesses are their brains and light." "It seems your skills haven't deteriorated at all, brother." Chu Shu, hearing this, proudly confirmed, "Of course. Taking care of you is no problem." Hearing this, Chu Duet decided to cooperate with Chu Shu. "So, the old tactic, you haven't forgotten, have you?" Chu Shu affirmed, "Of course not." Seeing the two brothers in agreement made Bing Bing look at them differently. Chu Shu laid out the battle plan. "Brother goes first, I'll support with a knife." The zombies approached, roaring. Chu Duet yelled, and both of them immediately charged in. Chu Duet jumped up and swung his knife down, swiftly taking care of one zombie. The remaining one roared, but was quickly taken down by Chu Shu in an instant with their perfect coordination. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Chu Duet swung his knife, slashing across the zombie, killing it. Then both continued to charge forward. Chu Duet warned the villagers, "Everyone gather together. Use your flashlights to shine in their eyes and attack. Don't get bitten." The moon had risen high when the villagers finally finished off the zombies. Huang Tao, breathing heavily from exhaustion, exclaimed, "We were exhausted just dealing with one, but the Chu brothers took on a whole horde." Uncle Nyo immediately explained, "Those two have been trained in martial arts by Master Zhang since they were young. Even professional fighters would have a hard time beating them." Hearing this, Huang Tao became dejected. "Is that so? I was thinking of teaching Chu Du a lesson. I really overestimated myself." At this moment, another zombie was taken down. The three stood among the pile of zombie corpses. Chu Shu turned and smiled, asking Chu Duet, "When did this kid become so strong?" He arrogantly replied, "Call me brother, and I'll teach you." Bing Bing, standing between the two of them, became silent. Seeing this, Chu Duet said to her, "Are you all right? Don't be afraid." Startled, Bing Bing quickly replied, "Yes, yes." Chu Shu, seeing his brother's lack of tact, scoffed, "This kid doesn't even know how to comfort someone." Bing Bing took a deep breath, then bowed her head and thanked them. Chu Shu brushed off the thanks and gestured towards Chu Duet. "Don't thank me. It's this kid, Chu Duet, who's been protecting you." And he, unconcerned, waved to Chu Shu, "Brother, go check on the others. Someone's been bitten over here." "Lin, Lin Xiang, I think I've been bitten. What do I do? Another person was also bitten. Boss, I think I've also. Are we going to turn into things like them? As soon as he finished speaking, he coughed up blood and tremblingly called out to Lin Xiang, Save me. Boss, where are you? Lin Xiang was currently hiding behind a tree, hearing the echoing sounds behind him. Chu do it, wait. What are you doing? I'm not. Wait, don't kill me. The scream made him terrified, his face covered in sweat. Chu do it then poked his head out from behind the tree. You're actually not infected. You're lucky. He gave Lin Xiang a chance. Just like that, go hide. And don't make a sound. Lin Xiang, Boss Lin, hiding behind the tree, tried to stay silent, but cursed Chu do it under his breath. Damn it, Chu do it. I'll definitely kill you. After searching for a while, Bing Bing spoke up with certainty. But I really did hear the party secretary's voice. He walked over curiously. What's wrong? Suddenly, a cry for help came from inside the cave. Help me, help me. She was startled and affirmed again. That's definitely the party secretary's voice. Chudit asked the villagers, everyone, go back first. I'll go in and check. Chu Shu was worried and followed him. I'll go with you, brother. At least I can fight alongside you. Chu Duit accepted. All right. He turned and entrusted the matter to them. Huan Tao, Uncle Nyo, and Bing Bing, you all go back first. Bing Bing was worried and still hesitant, but Chu Duit made the situation clear to the villagers. Rescuing someone from a pile of infected corpses is simply too dangerous. You won't gain anything, and you'll likely just get yourselves involved. Go back and do what you should be doing. Leave the party secretary's safety to us. Uncle Nyo thought it made sense and agreed. I understand. Huang Tao Xiaoxia, let's go back first. The village needs us too. Seeing that she couldn't help, she became dejected. Finally, everyone left. Chu Duit looked out at the villagers from inside the cave, pondering. We can't have any more casualties, but I'm willing to stay here and deal with the root cause of this wave of corpses over the next few days. Bing Bing, the survival of those in the village is in your hands. The two brothers went deeper into the cave. Chu Shu asked curiously, Hey, Chu Duit, can the party secretary really still be saved? All the zombies from before came out of this cave. He wasn't certain. Not necessarily. Chu Shu was surprised to hear this. Really? Chu Duit analyzed the situation. If the party secretary was bitten, there's nothing we can do. But the voice just now didn't sound like the cry of someone who'd been bitten and injured. Chu Shu felt a flicker of hope. I hope so. Bing Bing originally came here as a student to work as a cadre. The party secretary helped her adapt to life here. It's no wonder she's so concerned about his safety. After walking for a while, he stopped Chu Shu. Wait. Chu Shu looked ahead, surprised. Oh my god, what is this? Chu Duit felt something was off. Something seems wrong. Unlike the previous zombies, this body is dried out. Chu Shu looked at the situation, increasingly puzzled. Dried out? How could this happen? He looked at the hole in the body. This hole is... Chu Shu shone his light forward and immediately recognized him. Hey, isn't that the party secretary? Ahead, someone sat in front of the zombies, repeatedly crying for help. Save me. Save me. Chu Shu anxiously became hasty. Is the secretary all right? We're coming to save you. The secretary is calling for help. Save me. When he heard the noise, he turned around. I'm so hungry. The secretary's gruesome appearance frightened Chu Duit. He rushed forward and pulled Chu Shu to dodge the secretary's attack. Get back. A tentacle struck the rocks, shattering them. Chu Duit gritted his teeth. He's too fast. I can't escape. He drew the knife from its sheath. If I have to face the secretary, then I'll face him head on. The secretary continuously moaned, so hungry. Save me. Chu Duit nimbly dodged and then swung his knife down. He slashed across the secretary, but it was too tough for the knife to penetrate. This startled him into realizing the hardness of this skin. It's a mutated zombie. The secretary took advantage of Chu Duit's inattention and immediately attacked, sending him sprawling backward. The secretary lunged forward frantically, but was stopped by a bright light. Chu Shu shone his light towards the secretary. Bright light will affect it. Seeing that he couldn't fight the secretary, he yelled, Go. After getting outside, both were extremely exhausted and looked for a place to rest. Chu Shu wondered, what was that thing? Was it also a zombie? Chu Duit explained, it's a zombie, but a mutated kind. Chu Shu, after hearing this, couldn't help but be puzzled. Mutated. He explained in detail for Chu Shu to understand. This mutated type is caused by humans being infected by animals. This case is extremely rare. It's due to the combination of DNA from both sides creating the mutation. Mutated zombies are much stronger than the common type, and moreover, they have additional abnormal abilities. In this desolate cave, I guess there are quite a few bats that have mutated. Judging by the secretary's appearance, it's probably a level 2 mutated bat. This type of zombie is extremely difficult to deal with in the dark, but they are incredibly afraid of light. Fortunately, there's enough moonlight outside, so that monster didn't dare to come out. Chushu shone his light towards Chu Do-It and asked, Chu Do-It, since when did a mediocre student become a zombie expert? He didn't say anything after hearing that, then tried to make up an excuse to cover it up. Isn't this knowledge in novels? I feel like this is similar. He continued, let's go. Tomorrow, we'll bring enough equipment to kill this monster. Suddenly at this moment, countless bats flew out of the cave, forming a dark patch in the sky, obscuring the moon. The secretary emerged from within, and the sound made the two brothers look over to see the secretary rushing towards them. Attacking Jusu, the flashlight fell, and he was knocked down by a tentacle. Seeing this, Chu Do-It frantically rushed forward, grabbing the secretary's tentacle and pulling it hard, causing the secretary to halt. Unable to bite Chu Shu, he strained with all his might to pull back. But the zombie's strength was too great. It's over. This thing's strength is too great. Light. If only there was a strong light. Just as he thought of that, a car suddenly appeared from somewhere, shining its headlights forward. Bing Bing was driving the car. She yelled, get out of the way. Chu Do-It, surprised to see Bing Bing, exclaimed Bing Bing. She drove her car straight into the party secretary, then breathed a sigh of relief. The secretary, still alive, snarled, revealing his teeth, but was quickly finished off with a stab from Chu Do-It's knife. Finally, the matter was resolved. Bing Bing got out of the car and anxiously asked the two brothers, Chu Do-It, Chu Shu, are you two all right? What was that monster? Looking over, she stammered in surprise. This is the party secretary. Chu Do-It honestly told Bing Bing everything. I'm sorry, but the party secretary died a long time ago. This evil creature took over his body. Chu Shu sighed in relief. It's a good thing Bing Bing drove back to help us. Otherwise, we would have been done for. You brat, you didn't even thank her. What are you going to do in the future? Seeing Chu Shu's expression, Chu Do-It realized his mistake and stammered, ah, brother. Bing Bing was so shocked that tears welled up in her eyes. Chu Shu, who had been bitten by a zombie, used the gentlest words to reassure them. A momentary lapse, I was caught off guard. Veins began to bulge on Chu Shu's face. I'm sorry, Chu Do-It. Everything at home depends on you now. You know what you have to do. Tears streamed down Chu Do-It's face. Why? Why did it turn out like this? We finally had a chance to be reborn. I could have protected you, brother. He gritted his teeth. Mutated strain, he muttered, then turned to look at the secretary. He pulled out his knife, his eyes filled with madness, and stabbed the secretary repeatedly. Chu Shu, worried, tried to stop him. Chu Do-It, what are you doing? Stop. Bing Bing also tried to intervene. Chu Do-It, stop it. As he stabbed, Chu Do-It explained his reasoning. Mutated zombies attract lower-level zombies, and a zombie virus in their bodies helps them absorb. That's the zombie core that forms in their chest. He continued, brother, you haven't shown any symptoms yet. There's still a chance. This is the concentrated virus that fused with his body, the zombie core. If you eat it now, you might evolve into a superhuman and avoid being infected by the zombie virus. Chu Shu looked at the zombie core without saying a word. Chu Do-It added another possibility, but it's more likely you'll turn into that monster from before. As soon as he finished speaking, Chu Shu swallowed the zombie core. Then he sighed. Why didn't you say so earlier? You wasted my effort. It doesn't taste like anything. How long until it takes effect? Chu Do-It anxiously replied. It takes 2 days for the results to show. Chu Shu, hearing this, walked into the cave, not forgetting to instruct, after 2 days, if I don't come out of the cave, seal the entrance. But if I become a superhuman, don't be jealous. Hearing Chu Shu's optimistic words, Chu Do-It smiled. Okay, I'll wait for you. The two stood outside the cave looking in, unaware that someone was eavesdropping behind them. Lin Xiang, having overheard this information, laughed loudly. If that's the case, I'll give you a hand. The next morning, the sun rose high, shining down on the Chu family home. Chewing wrapped some household items around herself and went to Chu Do-It's room to wake him. Brother, wake up. But seeing him already sitting by the window, looking out expectantly, she exclaimed in surprise, "Brother, you're awake." Hearing Chu Ying's call startled Chu Duet. He turned and smiled, his eyes showing signs of sleepless night. "What's up?" Dressed like a cavalryman, she stepped forward to explain, "Didn't you say everyone should strengthen their defenses? I just made this armor. What do you think? Pretty impressive, right?" As soon as she finished speaking, Chu Duet flicked his hand, sending Chu Shu tumbling towards the door. He teased, "With just this armor, won't you just roll away when the zombies come?" He continued to playfully push Chu Shu out into the yard, annoying her. "Stop pushing me." Chu Duet suddenly looked up and was startled. He saw Jianhao diligently building the house's wall higher. Seeing him, Jianhao said cheerfully, "Xiao Chuet, you're awake." Then, jumping down, he bumped into Chu Ying, causing her to roll to the side. Jianhao walked over, holding several boxes of explosives, and pleaded with Chu Duet, "Where did you get these treasures? Leave me a few boxes to play with." Chu Duet wearily refused. "Dad, these are explosives, not toys." But Jianhao didn't listen and grab a box. "Don't be so stingy. Just one box." Chu Duet helplessly warned, "Dad, be careful." He then looked over and saw Ta Fong doing something. Chu Duet felt increasingly helpless, just like Mom. He asked Mom, "Is there any breakfast left?" She was focused on her task and didn't want to make any. "No, figure out yourselves." Seeing there was no food, he decided to freeload. "Guess I'll go eat at Uncle Neo's." Outside, someone was about to ring the doorbell. When Chu Duet opened the door, wondering, "Why are you here?" Bing Bing shyly explained, he was curious. "What's wrong?" She stammered her request. I wanted to ask you for a favor." Chu Duet was curious. A favor. Just then, Ta Fong came out and, seeing Bing Bing, called out, "Bing Bing, coming quickly." She quickly declined. "Thank you, Annie, I won't intrude. I came to ask Chu Duet for help." Bing Bing explained, "The village committee has started organizing defenses for the villagers. The mobilization work has been quite smooth. However, after contacting the city police yesterday, we haven't received any news. This morning, even the signal was cut off." Hearing this, he took out his phone to confirm. There really is no signal. Strange. This didn't happen in the previous life. Bing Bing felt something was wrong. This is very unusual. I'm worried that the lack of information will cause us to miss the opportunity for rescue. So, Chu Duet, I want to invite you to go to town with me to see if we can contact the outside. Chu Duet didn't say anything upon hearing this. Ta Fong's face darkened beside him. He was about to refuse, but before Chu Duet could decline, she bowed and apologized. "I'm really sorry. After what happened with Chu Shu yesterday, I'm still asking you to take this risk with me." Bing Bing explained why she wanted him to go with her. "But, Chu Duet, you're the best fighter I know, and you understand those monsters the best. I have to go into town to get information. It's my responsibility. For this, I can do anything. Even if people scold and hit me, I won't complain. I just hope you can." Before Bing Bing could finish persuading Chu Duet, Ta Fong spoke up. "All right, Bing Bing, don't say anymore. If it weren't for you yesterday, my foolish son wouldn't have made it back." Having received her agreement, she was incredibly grateful. "Thank you, Ta Fong." Ta Fong explained, "This matter with the young miss has nothing to do with you. It was her decision. Chu Duet, come here with me." Bing Bing, wait a moment, called by his mother. He simply replied, "Mother." Reaching the courtyard, she expressed her feelings to Chu Duet. "Don't worry. Chu Duet, we're your parents. Parents are supposed to shelter their children from the wind and rain, not become a burden to them. Look at your face. You're grown now. Are you letting Chu Ying worry about you?" Hearing this, he was taken aback. Ta Fong, setting down her sewing, affirmed to Chu Duet, "So, trust us, just like we trust you. Believe that the young miss can return safely." Her trust made him happy. "I understand." Ta Fong entrusted the saber in her hand to Chu Duet. "Take this. I've kept this saber well maintained. Use it carefully and don't chip it." Then she sent him off. "Go on. Do what you need to do. Come back safe, you hear?" Bing Bing waved goodbye to her. "Thank you, Ta Fong. We'll be back soon." Chu Duet added, "Go inside, mother. Everyone, please be careful." Watching them walk away together, Ta Fong couldn't help but sigh. Those two seemed like a good match. Ta Fong then noticed Chu Shu coughing incessantly. Just then, someone entered, putting Chu Shu on alert. "Who's there?" "Chu Duet." "No, it can't be him now. It's still too soon." Chu Shu noticed a yellow liquid on the ground and curiously touched it. "What is this?" He brought it closer, and everyone instantly realized what it was, just as the entire cave exploded. Elsewhere, a truck sped down the road, music playing inside. Bing Bing sang along continuously, though off-key, making Chu Do It realize, wow, some people really are tone-deaf. Aware of her poor singing, she apologized. Sorry, I tend to sing when I'm nervous. I know I'm not good. Chu Do It was exasperated by her antics. She's clearly terrified, yet she still rushes into danger. Remembering his past life, he smiled. Still, the Bing Bing I knew wasn't bad. Gripping the steering wheel tightly, Chu Do It decided, this life has many unexpected turns. I can't rely entirely on past experiences. I still need her zombie sensing ability. I absolutely can't let anything happen to her. He suddenly called out, Bing Bing. She turned to him, startled. Huh. Chu Do It made a suggestion. From now on, come stay at my house. Bing Bing was surprised. Huh. She turned away, flustered. Why? You want me to stay at your house? He started to explain, but then reconsidered. If I tell her she'll awaken an ability in the future, she definitely won't believe me. Forget it. I'll be direct. Chu Do It explained clearly, because I need you. I don't want you to face any unnecessary danger. Bing Bing blushed, unexpectedly touched by his concern. He suddenly stopped the moving vehicle. Wait a minute. She was startled. What is this? A large chasm stretched before them. They stood before it, helpless. In this situation, there's no way to get into town. Chu Do It remembered that this road was open in his past life. It seems the changes aren't just in time. The road to town is also blocked. So, getting future supplies will be difficult. He suddenly sighed and decided to return to the village. Let's go back to the village first, then we'll find a way. Seeing this, Bing Bing also accepted. It's the only way. The two returned to the village. In the car, he pondered. The supplies at home are okay for now. There's no signal and the road is blocked. I have a bad feeling about this. While driving, the tire hit a sharp spike, causing the car to stop abruptly. The sudden swerve worried Chu Do It, who quickly slammed on the brakes. The car immediately stopped. He got out of the car, and Bing Bing unexpectedly followed. Don't go. Chu Do It stopped her. Those are road spikes. He realized this was done by someone. At this moment, someone spoke from above. It really is you, Chu Do It. You're already with the village beauty this quickly. It's truly admirable. Chu Do It became wary. What are you planning to do? Lin Xiang asked smugly, do what? Then he jumped down, saying, you killed so many of my brothers yesterday. As their boss, I have to avenge them, don't I? Chu Do It calmly replied, avenge your brothers. Then you should go fight zombies. However, with your cowardly display last night, do you really dare to make a move? Being looked down upon, Lin Xiang became enraged, gritting his teeth. Damn you, Chu Do It. I'll kill you now. Chu Do It wasn't afraid, but let out a scornful laugh. Then he challenged, try it. The atmosphere became tense. Lin Xiang narrowed his eyes, preparing to pull the trigger. Eliminate him. At this moment, a shot rang out. But behind Chu Do It, a cry of pain echoed. Turning around, he saw Bing Bing had been shot in the ankle in immense pain. Chu Do It roared furiously. Lin Xiang, you bastard. Lin Xiang laughed excitedly. Heartbroken, aren't you? That's right. To deal with a womanizer like you, I have to target the person beside you. He then remembered the main point. All right, there's something I forgot to tell you. Yesterday, I saw your brother was infected. Lin Xiang took action, so I helped you out and burned down that mine. Those words echoed in his ears, making him furious as he rushed forward. Lin Xiang. Bing Bing struggled to stop him. Chu Do It don't. Seeing Chu Do It lose his reason and charge, Lin Xiang gloated, you idiot, I was just waiting for you to come here. As soon as he finished speaking, a zombie appeared beside him. Its eyes were bloodshot as it lunged forward, biting Lin Xiang's hand, causing him to scream in pain. Lin Xiang. Chu Do It quickly recognized it upon seeing it. This is the rank 2 wolf zombie. From our house. Chu Ying, waiting on the rooftop, couldn't help but feel discouraged. Second brother and Bing Bing had been gone for so long. Why haven't they returned? While he was pondering, a knock came from outside. Is Chu Do It home? Chu Do It. He was surprised to see someone there. Huang Tao, Uncle Niu. Then he asked, my second brother is out. What's the matter? Huang Tao immediately pointed towards a mountain. Look at the mountain over there. Chu Ying curiously looked over. Seeing nothing, he zoomed in with his phone and couldn't help but be startled. When a horde of zombies appeared, Lin Xiang was on his last legs. Damn it, am I going to die? Lin Xiang looked up at the zombies triumphantly. Chu Do It, you won't survive this either. Chu Do It looked at him warily, his eyes bloodshot. Then it lunged at him, but he quickly dodged. He then kneed the zombie and slashed its stomach with his knife. Landing in a cool pose, blood flowed incessantly from a wound. He then sighed. Thankfully, it's dusk. The zombie's fighting strength isn't strong. If it were night, bing bing, and I would be dead for sure. Looking at the zombie on the ground, Chu Duet became determined. He had to kill them before dusk ended. At that moment, a roar echoed from within the forest, making him realize there were still more zombies. Countless zombies ran out from the forest. Not good, it's zombies. Chu Duet's face darkened. Why? Wasn't the source of the zombie wave, the village secretary, already dead? Why are there still more zombies coming? Could it be that the source wasn't the village secretary? He finally understood. It was a trap. While Chu Duet was distracted, the zombie was right next to him. It stomped down, sending him flying backward, so fast despite being so heavily injured. Suddenly, he realized something. Injured, self-healing ability. The wound on the zombie's stomach was actually healing itself. It opened its mouth wide and lunged towards Chu Duet. Inside the cave, where Chu Shu was hiding, the ground suddenly shook. Rocks flew everywhere, then exploded. Chu Shu seemed to have awakened his power. Bing Bing, who was nearby, was terrified. No, don't. Seeing Chu Duet being bitten by the zombie, she screamed in fear, Chu Duet. Suddenly, his body glowed, surprising Chu Duet. What is this? This feeling. He plunged straight into the zombie's belly. A powerful shockwave caused the zombie pain. Chu Duet finally broke free. He swung his knife. Bing Bing, who was nearby, called out in surprise, Chu Duet. With just a few slashes, he successfully took down the zombie. Then he slowly stood up, smiling back at her. Yeah, it's me. Seeing that Chu Duet was safe and sound, Bing Bing breathed a sigh of relief. I'm glad you're okay. She voiced her thoughts. Although you were so powerful this time, why am I not surprised at all? Is it because subconsciously, I believe that Chu Duet can solve any trouble? He replied uncertainly. I don't know why, but my power suddenly erupted. Am I awakening my abilities? But in my past life, I've never heard of anyone awakening abilities without a core. Chu Duet warned, now's not the time to chat. We need to get ready to run. Bing Bing was surprised. What? He explained, this place is surrounded by zombies. The zombies really had surrounded the area. Chu Duet noticed Bing Bing's condition. Your leg is injured. I'll carry you. Hold on tight. It'll be a bit bumpy. She tried to endure and replied, okay. Then the two of them ran like the wind, the zombies frantically chasing after them. Bing Bing was in pain, but she still tried her best to cling to him. The two rushed forward. Chu Duet stamped his foot hard and jumped, soaring high into the air. He could see the village up ahead. Then he landed by the roadside. Observing the horde of zombies gradually approaching, he realized there were too many. Even if he killed them all, he couldn't guarantee Bing Bing wouldn't get hurt. Suddenly, a truck came speeding towards them, sending zombies flying in all directions. Both of them looked over. They saw Jianhao yell, Chu Duet, Dad's here. Chu Ying and his younger sister were also there. Jianhao shouted, Deputy, listen up. Fire dragon bullets, 3-meter radius. Put. Yes, sir. Explosions quickly erupted behind them. Surprised, aren't you rotten zombies? Although it seemed the zombies had been blown to pieces, some still charged forward. He quickly threw a bomb. Here's a big present for you. The bomb flew high, along with Jianhao's half-smoked cigarette. The combination of the two caused an immediate explosion. Chu Ying exclaimed excitedly, this is too much fun. Chu Duet remembered something. I think there's a first aid kit under the seat. He bent down to search. Cotton, bandages, alcohol. After a while, he finally found it. Got it. Suddenly, Chu Ying grabbed a cigarette pack from Chu Duet's hand. My turn. She smiled and reminded him, you can't just touch a girl's leg like that, brother, unless you two have a special relationship I don't know about. Bing Bing could only laugh helplessly at this. This little girl. After seeing that everything was all right, Chu Duet asked Jianhao, Dad, how's the situation at home? The sound of the two girls continued in the background. Sister Bing Bing, your thighs are so soft. Xiaoing, stop touching me. He looked at Chu Duet smugly and declared, don't worry, those zombies can't get into the village. Chu Duet looked curiously at the driver's seat. By the way, Dad, did you make all these explosives? It's amazing that lighting one cigarette can blow up so much. Jianhao proudly recounted his glorious past. Of course, when I was young, I was fascinated by making explosives. I studied them every day, and later, when I went to the mountains, I became the demolition expert in the team. Unfortunately, the mine in the mountains was empty, so I couldn't play with explosives anymore. Even if I wanted to chop some bamboo to make firecrackers, your mother would stop me. Chu Duet suddenly remembered something. So, the explosives in the kitchen last year were made by you. Jianhao was startled and quickly denied it. Huh, of course not. How could that be? Chu Duat realized he was lying. Dad, you're trembling. Jian Hao pleaded with him. Don't tell your mother. Finally, night fell, and the four of them returned to the village. Suddenly, a scream came from inside the Chu family home. Jian Hao rushed over worriedly and tried to break down the door. Oh no, the door is locked. I can't get in. I don't have the key. Chu Duat didn't hesitate and smashed the door open. Two figures appeared inside. Ta Fong calmly looked at the figure in front of her. So it's you. She gripped the zombie tightly in her hand and greeted it. Sister Zhang from the next village. Long time no see. The four witnesses were surprised to see Ta Fong capture the zombie barehanded. Mom. Her eyes turned menacing as she suddenly lunged forward. You scare me. You thought you wouldn't have to pay just because you turned into this. Ta Fong quickly vented her anger on a zombie. Last time you played cards, you owed me 500. I gave 600 when your son went to college. When my eldest went to college, you didn't give anything. And now you're here complaining and looking for a fight. Chu Duat watched the scene, utterly helpless. He turned to Jian Hao and asked, Dad, since when did Mom become someone who knows how to fight? He calmly lit a cigarette and replied nonchalantly, she's always known how to fight. When she was young, she was the leader of a gang in the whole village. He recounted her glorious past. If she really wanted to fight, 3 to 5 people couldn't surround her. But she's calmed down a lot since meeting me. Jian Hao's face was full of pride. Back then, your mother forced me to marry her. As soon as he finished speaking, Ta Fong threw a pan at his face and yelled, shameless. Clearly, you were the one chasing after me. After venting their anger on each other, they turned to Chu Duat, and you, Chu Duat. Why did you break the door? I'll deal with you later. He stammered, trying to explain. Oh my God. Mom, listen to my explanation. Bing Bing stepped forward to explain for Chu Duat. Thank you, Annie. Don't blame Chu Duat. He was just worried about you. Seeing her appear, Ta Fong stopped. Bing Bing is here too. Ta Fong threw the zombie in her hand away and joked cheerfully. I was just kidding earlier. Don't take it seriously. Don't take it seriously. I like to joke around. Just then, another zombie appeared on the wall. It was quickly knocked down by a wooden beam. Huang Tao shouted down from above, warning, don't joke around anymore. More and more zombies are coming. They're almost in the village. Uncle Nyo observed and reported the situation. There's a group coming towards us from the west. Hearing this, Chu Duat didn't say a word. He reached for his machete, his power activating. Kill! Chu Duat rushed forward, slashing zombies to pieces as he recalled the past. In his previous life, the zombie outbreak was so sudden that his family, unprepared, all perished. Now, his whole family was ready and waiting, not giving the zombies any chance. Moreover, he was no longer fighting alone. He had the support of his entire family. This wave of zombies, we can definitely overcome it safely. A zombie was struck down, and the other zombies didn't dare approach. Chu Duat's family was incredibly strong. The zombies continued to growl. Chu Duat looked down at them with a terrifying gaze, causing them to recoil in fear. Chuing was surprised by this scene. Look, the zombies are scared. He immediately refuted her thought. That's not right. Zombies don't feel fear. Suddenly, someone dragged a pitchfork, creating chilling, screeching sounds. It turned out to be the lead zombie. Jian Hao witnessed this scene in disbelief. No way, zombies can grab things. Are they trying to attack the town? Chu Duat realized something was wrong. These zombies were clearly being manipulated. He looked up and spotted a figure under the blood moon. And that person was none other than Lin Xiang, who had turned into a zombie. At that moment, explosions rang out in the village, and zombies kept rushing towards them. This annoyed Jian Hao. Damn it, why are they all coming towards our house? He said to Chuing, silly girl, explosives. She quickly reported back, all used up. Huang Tao, observing from above, reported to Chu Duat, there are some coming from the other side. He turned around and realized it was a flanking maneuver. These zombies actually knew tactics. Chu Duat looked down and saw Bing Bing surrounded by zombies. She was struggling to defend herself. Both Jian Hao and Chu Ying were exhausted. Ta Fong was also wearing down. Seeing this, he gave instructions. Dad, Mom, you two defend the courtyard. I'll handle the rest. As soon as he finished speaking, he was engulfed by zombies. But Chu Duat didn't give up and unleashed his power. Sure enough, with a powerful slash, he scattered the zombies. Blood Chi body protection, destructive force of 10,000 strikes. What Chu Duat possessed was a supernatural ability, the blood talisman diagram. Looking at the supernatural energy enveloping his body, he remembered seeing it once in his previous life on the commander of the Shu Guang Corps. one of the strongest supernatural users. It seemed to be this same ability. It's just that his own blood talisman diagram was much weaker. Thinking it over, Chu Duet decided not to worry about it. As long as he had enough power, enough to protect his family, nothing else mattered. He looked towards Lin Xiang. These zombies weren't anything to fear. The key was the one controlling them. Deciding to capture the leader first, Chu Duet's entire body surged with power. Gripping his blade, he thought arrogantly, "Do you really think these ordinary zombies can hold me back?" At this moment, growls echoed constantly, reverberating behind him. A zombie appeared behind him, trying to bite Bing Bing, but luckily it was destroyed. Ta Fong asked worriedly, "Are you alright, Xiao Xia? Are you hurt?" Bing Bing, panting with exhaustion, replied, "Thank you, Annie. I'm fine. Where's Chu Duet? I saw him jump down just now." Chewing raised her hand and declared, I know. She asserted confidently, "I saw second brother. He was like a superhero, cutting down all those zombies." Then she reassured the family, "Don't worry, he'll be fine." Just as she finished speaking, the courtyard wall suddenly crumbled. Chu Ying turned to look and saw Chu Duet injured, lying in the rubble. Second brother, seeing her about to go to him, he yelled, stopping her, "Don't come over here. Run." A giant bear zombie appeared in front of Chu Duet, roaring furiously. Chu Duet stood up from the rubble, determined, no, absolutely not. Remembering his family from his past life, he resolved not to let them suffer the same fate again. With that resolve, the power within him surged once more. His power intensified. Strength, I need more strength. Seeing him like this, Jian Hao and Chu Ying worried. Chutzi, second brother, Ta Fong and Bing Bing were equally worried. Xiao Chut, the bear zombie's eyes turned cold, and then it swung its paw at Chu Duet, creating a massive shockwave around them. Suddenly, a familiar voice rang out from the smoke. "I was wondering how you could suddenly become so powerful, little brother. Turns out you're using this kind of power too." Chu Shu effortlessly blocked the bear's paw. Sorry, Chu Duet, I'm late." Seeing Chu Shu, he couldn't help but cry out in joy, "Big brother." Chu Shu calmly explained his lateness. "I was behind a mountain getting used to this power." Chu Duet, watch closely. The giant bear zombie's gaze grew colder and colder. But Chu Shu, unfazed, unleashed his power. This power that is used like this. The giant bear zombie was shattered by Chu Shu's blow. Then, annoyed that it still lived, he said, "Not dead. This big rat hide is pretty thick." Chu Shu turned to Chu Duet and said, "I'll handle this. You go do what you need to do." Hearing this, Chu Duet smiled and replied, "All right." Chu Duet advanced towards Lin Xiang, who was standing there, and recalled the feeling of losing his loved ones. There have been countless nights when I woke up from nightmares, hating this hellish world and my own powerlessness. In this life, I've finally regained my strength. He spoke up, surprised. "Lin Xiang, you're still alive." Chu Duet resolved to eliminate the threat himself. Hearing Chu Duet call his name, Lin Xiang objected, No. That Lin Xiang died a long time ago. This is a completely different version." Lin Xiang laughed triumphantly. "I've escaped that lowly body." He wanted to prove his point to Chu Duet. "Look, half zombie, half human. I have independent consciousness and can control the undead. This is the true king of the apocalypse. I must say, it's fortunate that you, Chu Duet, crushed those zombie wolves and offered their cores to me. I've been thinking about how to repay you." Finally, I decided to. Before he could finish his sentence, he was cut down by Chu Duet. Contempt flashed in Chu Duet's eyes. "You don't talk too much, coward." Seeing Lin Xiang dead, his disdain deepened. "And you dare to call yourself king." Having dealt with Lin Xiang, Chu Duet intended to help Chu Shu. That should lessen the pressure on Big Brother a bit. After the end of the zombie tide, Lin Xiang suddenly burst into triumphant laughter, surprising him. Lin Xiang exclaimed, as expected, "Chu Duet, your blade can't kill me." Chu Duet grew wary, realizing, "I understand now." The regenerative ability of the zombie wolves. Suddenly, Lin Xiang sped past him, boasting, "We are the same, Chu Duet. This is our era. Join me. The undead will be our soldiers, flesh and blood will be our core fruits, and humans will be our livestock. Therefore, I've specially summoned zombies to help you eliminate the low-blooded around you. So what do you think of my gift?" Below, zombies continuously attacked the Chu family home, but everyone fought back with all their might. Uncle Nyo yelled, "Old Chu, we can't hold on much longer." Jian Hao wasn't doing much better, but he encouraged everyone, hold on a little longer. The kid and Chu Duet are almost done. He was struggling to hold back the zombies. when the giant bear zombie's corpse came flying, smashing through the barricade. Chushu stepped on the bear zombie triumphantly. Good endurance. This brat looks sturdy. Let's use him to fill the gap for now. Jianhao worriedly asked about Chu Duit's situation. Kid, how's Chu Duit doing? Chushu, hearing this, didn't know how to answer. He pondered, there's still too many zombies. I have to defend here. Chushu reassured the family, don't worry. Chu Duit's potential is even greater than mine. He'll handle it. Back on the other side, Chu Duit was sent flying by Lin Xiang. He clicked his tongue smugly, then looked at Chu Duit arrogantly, like a predator eyeing its prey. You disappoint me, Chu Duit. Lin Xiang asked condescendingly, is that all you've got? However, he offered Chu Duit a deal. Submit to me, and I will grant you many privileges. Swinging his blade at the self-proclaimed king, Chu Duit lunged forward with a horizontal slash. He declared resolutely, humans don't make friends with monsters, much less monsters who dare to harm my family. Chu Duit's gaze hardened. The only thing I need to do is kill you, Lin Xiang. Lin Xiang, still alive, responded arrogantly, is that so? A pity, Chu Duit. Then I have no choice but to sentence you to death. He had barely finished speaking when Chu Duit was caught off guard. Lin Xiang lunged to attack, but Chu Duit managed to block the blow. Chu Duit was shocked by Lin Xiang's power. He's so fast. Lin Xiang swung his arm smugly. Not just speed, but power too. While Chu Duit was distracted, Lin Xiang slashed across his arm. Chu Duit quickly retreated and then paused, looking at the wound on his arm with surprise. My protective energy. It couldn't even stop that. Lin Xiang looked at his bloodstained claws and praised. Not bad, Chu Duit. You dodged a full power attack for me. I thought I'd be seeing your guts by now. Chu Duit felt his strength draining. My stamina is dropping too fast. I can't maintain Blood Tower much longer. He resolved. The next attack will decide this. As he thought this, Lin Xiang appeared before him. Tricked you. Another spray of blood erupted. Lin Xiang had landed a fatal blow. I wonder just how powerful a full power attack from me really is. Just when it seemed over, a grenade appeared in Chu Duit's hand. He threw it at Lin Xiang. The area exploded. Lin Xiang, still alive, emerged from the smoke. Explosives. You think a little fire like this can kill me? Lin Xiang looked around. Chu Duit was gone. He ran. He sounded surprised. That Chu Duit. He actually escaped. Lin Xiang couldn't help but laugh triumphantly. The stench of blood on you is too strong. You think you can hide? He decided, I'll hunt you down, and then I'll kill you. Inside a building, gasps of breath could be heard. Chu Duit's arms were covered in wounds. The bleeding barely stopped. I didn't know Blood Tower had a healing function. His eyes were filled with exhaustion. But I don't have much stamina left. Only one chance for an attack. Following the scent of blood, Lin Xiang found Chu Duit's hiding place. A gas station. He looked up and remarked, it seems the coffin you chose for yourself isn't much. Chu Duit. Lin Xiang walked and asked into the empty air, do you know why a pack of wolves, even when starving, won't hunt? It's to savor the fear of their prey, their helplessness and despair at the critical moment after they've cried for help. He lifted the entire car, thinking Chu Duit was hiding there. Finding nothing, he realized it was useless. Lin Xiang was excited by this game of hide and seek. This is the greatest pleasure. Seeing the trail of blood and abruptly gave him pause. But he didn't give up. Let's see. He began to search the surrounding area. Oil, tripwires, explosives. Lin Xiang thinks he's clever, refusing to step inside. You thought I'd follow the blood trail into the convenience store and fall into your trap. At this moment, the stench of fresh blood filled the air. In reality, the strongest scent of blood is here by the sign he shattered. Chu Duit's blood-soaked shirt fell to the ground, surprising Lin Xiang. What? He couldn't believe it. This is armor. As soon as he finished speaking, Chu Duit suddenly appeared, slashing across Lin Xiang's head. Lin Xiang clutched his head, howling in pain. Ack, what did you do, Chu Duit? Chu Duit replied, it's salt. Didn't you smell it? It's understandable. You can't smell or see anything now. Lin Xiang could only groan in pain. Chu Duit explained his situation. The wolf's abilities within you are amplified, but you also inherit their weaknesses. He continued his analysis smugly. A wolf's nose has 200,000 olfactory receptor cells and can distinguish over 2 million different scents. A heightened sense of smell also means an intolerance to irritating odors like salt in contact with the nasal cavity. For you, the pain is doubled. Normal people, seeing a trap, would lower their guard. You think you're king, but you're no different from them, Lin Xiang. Lin Xiang, driven mad, roared Chu Duit, I'll kill you. kill you. But Chu Do-it dodged aside, proclaiming arrogantly, you won't get the chance. Chu Do-it recalled, remembering what his older brother did. Focus the energy of the blood tower. Focus it in your hand. A surge of power coursed through him, making him flinch. His power surged as he swung his blade towards Lin Xiang, challenging him. Come on, with a single slash. After a moment, the smoke cleared. Chu Do-it spoke, this place isn't good enough to kill you. The monster's vitality was truly astonishing. His body, cleaved in two, still clung to life. I am king. Following the grooves in the ground, gasoline flowed, engulfing Lin Xiang's body. He still stubbornly refused to believe it. I won't die. The rising gasoline terrified Lin Xiang. What is this? Chu Do-it quickly revealed his intention. The flames of small explosives couldn't kill you, so I want to try it out using all the gasoline in the storage tank. Let's see if this can send you to heaven. Lin Xiang cried out in agony. No. At that moment, Chu Do-it dropped the bomb. This is the coffin I chose for you. Farewell, Lin Xiang. Elsewhere, Jianhao was startled by the explosion. Chu Shu asked worriedly, Dad, is everything all right over there? He looked towards the neighboring mountain, seeing smoke billowing upwards. Finally the smoke cleared, revealing the bright sun. Jianhao gasped, it's morning. Chu Shu was equally surprised. Look, the zombies were being pushed back by the sunlight. People shouted, the zombies are retreating. Hearing this news, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. At that moment, a voice called out, hold on. Chu Do-it, having defeated Lin Xiang, returned. Seeing the rising sun, he sighed in relief. Suddenly, a voice called out from behind him, Chu Do-it. Li Jin, exhausted, pleaded, help me. I finished speaking, Li Jin collapsed. Seeing this, Chu Do-it was a little surprised and called out, Li Jin. At this time, in the Chu family home, Chu Shu's voice rang out, Brother, are you a pervert? Why are you taking a woman's clothes off on the street? Chu Do-it righteously explained, I wanted to check if Li Jin was injured, so I grabbed the most suitable-looking clothes for her to wear. It was too dangerous because there were many people attacking at that time, so I had to be more careful. Chu Shu resolutely refused to accept this. That's still not okay. Hearing this, Chu Do-it offered his reasoning. Besides, I wasn't fully dressed at the time either, so it's fair. Hearing this, Chu Shu felt that things were getting out of hand. Isn't that even more perverted? He crossed his arms, exasperated with his older brother. It's a good thing I showed up in time and told you to stop. If Bing Bing had seen that, you'd be done for. Chu Do-it asked curiously, what if she had seen it? At this moment, Bing Bing walked out of the room and explained Li Jin's situation. Li Jin is fine. I've checked her over. It's probably due to exhaustion, both physical and mental. She'll be fine after some rest. Seeing both brothers silent, she asked, confused, what's wrong? Chu Shu blushed and stammered, nothing, Bing Bing. It's good that she's okay. Chu Do-it also smiled gratefully at Bing Bing. Yes, thank you for your hard work. Hearing this, she blushed shyly. No, I didn't do anything. At this moment, Bing Bing noticed the wound on Chu Do-et's hand. Everyone, you've worked hard. After the zombies dispersed, Bing Bing, Uncle Neo, and Huang Tao all returned. Before leaving, Huang Tao didn't forget to inform Chu Do-it, we're going ahead. While it's less dangerous during the day, we'll go into the village and see if there are any other survivors. After all, this is our responsibility. I hope everyone is safe. Bing Bing sat to the side, diligently stitching, but her eyes were downcast. Seeing her like this, Chu Do-it called out, Xiao Bing Bing. He comforted her. You don't need to blame yourself. This wasn't something we could have prevented. Our abilities can't save everyone. What's important is that we can all continue to live. Hearing these words, Bing Bing felt relieved and replied. In the car, Chu Shu, hearing Chu Do-it finally comforting someone, smiled and praised him. Not bad, that kid has made some progress. Chu Do-it replied vaguely, pleased, yeah, this time the outcome wasn't like before. Chu Shu was puzzled. What are you talking about? I was saying your EQ has improved a bit. Forget it. Pretend I didn't say anything. Let's go. We're responsible for dealing with these bodies. Chu Do-it agreed and got into the car, okay. Thick black smoke billowed from the forest. The two stood before the burning pile. Chu Shu asked, this is the last pile, right? Chu Do-it confirmed, right? He explained the procedure. These mutated bodies have to be burned. Otherwise, if animals eat them, they'll also mutate. Exhausted after several days, Chu Shu yawned and instructed, finally, we can get some sleep. Chu Do-it, you drive later. Remember to wash the car at the gas station. Otherwise, we won't be able to use it anymore. Chu Do-it hesitated about that. The gas station. Chu Do It then realized, oh wait, why do I have to wash it? Chu Shu smugly offered a very convincing reason. Because I'm your older brother. Seeing Chu Do It silence, Chu Shu asked again, what? You disagree? Chu Do It immediately posed the question, same rules. Chu Shu was taken aback, huh? Right now? Are you sure you can beat me now? He looked at Chu Shu smugly. Have you ever been afraid of ghost hunting? Compared to guessing numbers, my brother and I prefer to use this game to determine the winner. The rules are also very simple. Chu Shu accepted. All right, this time I'll be the ghost hunter. Chu Do It agreed after listening. Then I'll be the ghost. The ghost hunter will count down from 10 seconds, and the ghost will run during that time. Chu Shu shouted 10. If the ghost hunter touches the ghost within 3 minutes, the ghost hunter wins. The only thing the ghost needs to do is... Chu Shu was now counting down to 9. Chu Do It quickly ran away as fast as he could. His speed was incredibly fast, but Chu Shu still stood there and shouted 8. Chu Shu grinned, let you play for a bit, then smirked. As Chu Do It ran deeper into the forest, Chu Shu caught up. It seems you've forgotten. Thought that I also know this trick. Chu Shu tried to grab him, but missed. They darted past each other from one place to another. Chu Do It jumped up high, surprising Chu Shu. Seeing him above, Chu Shu became even more excited. Chu Do It was rushing forward, his foot about to touch the tree. But it seemed like there was something he couldn't touch, making him bewildered. What? It turned out that the base of the tree Chu Do It was about to land on had been cut down. And the one who did it was Chu Shu, his eyes filled with a crazed look. Chu Do It landed softly and immediately looked back. A tree trunk was hurtling towards him, but Chu Do It quickly blocked it with his hand. The other end was also stopped by Chu Shu. Chu Shu asked cheerfully, still want to run? Chu Do It thought, the force is too strong. Should I let go now? The tree trunk was being pushed back and forth between the two brothers. He was now forced into a corner, and the tree couldn't withstand the force of the two. It immediately exploded into many pieces, and the smoke and dust dispersed. This made Chu Shu worried. I think I went a bit overboard. Chu Do It, are you? All right. There was no one in front of him, making Chu Shu bewildered. Where are you? A rock was thrown down at Chu Shu from above. Chu Do It said triumphantly, time's up. The ghost wins this time. Chu Shu wondered, when did you get up there? Weren't you just blocking that cliff? He explained just now. You know our abilities very well. Chu Shu curiously asked, unaware that someone was eavesdropping behind them. Did you drink the nuclear crystal to get this ability? Did you drink it too? Chu Do It. Chu Do It stretched his body and answered vaguely, yeah, something like that, although I drank it in my past life. From their recent competition, your strength, the effect, is probably borrowed strength. Chu Shu wondered, borrowed strength. Does that mean you can use my strength, and our strength isn't actually equal? He then explained thoroughly, you could say that. My ability is called blood talisman removal. Chu Do It explained Chu Shu's ability, the effect of blood talisman removal, which can enhance speed and strength, and also provides a layer of energy to protect the body, helping to resist attacks from animals. In the previous situation, you exhibited about 70% of my strength. Ignoring Chu Do It's explanations, Chu Shu only concluded one thing. He lost anyway. He continued to explain, not only that, you can almost grasp the specific values of my strength attributes. Chu Shu was surprised. A special ability. Could it be like the game system in novels? Chu Do It denied it. Not really. It's a natural feeling. I can only quantify it. Look, if the average adult's ability is 20, then your strength and speed would be 90, stamina around 95, and intelligence. Chu Shu couldn't help but laugh after hearing this. This ability also increases IQ. Chu Do It denied it, probably around 0. You looked a bit dumb fighting with that log earlier. Hearing this, Chu Shu became furious and threatened. Do you believe I'll beat you to death? Chu Shu spoke up. Right, the nuclear crystal from the bear's body. I put it in the drawer in your room. We might need it later. Chu Do It pleaded. I hope we don't have to use it. Chu Shu insisted. It's better to be safe than sorry. Come on, I'm going to wash the car. Chu Do It decided to go with Chu Shu. I'll go with you. I'm not comfortable letting an idiot go alone. Hearing this, Chu Shu angrily said, get lost. At night, the door to Chu Do It's room was slightly opened. A figure entered and rummaged around and found the zombie core. Chuan grabbed it with delight. Superpowers of mine. In a peaceful countryside, the sound of a hoe hitting the ground echoed roughly, expressing the attitude of the person holding it. A man wearing a sleeveless shirt stood under the scorching sun, hoeing the ground, sweat dripping down his face. Chu Duet leaned on the hoe, paused for a moment to rest, and sighed, "How unlucky. Why does it always have to be me?" He recalled Xie Fang's face when assigning the task. "Now we have to start the food storage plan. We have to use our land first. Xiao Chut, go plow our entire field." Chu Duet couldn't help but feel indignant. Clearly, my older brother is also free, but she keeps making me do this tiring work. Mom is definitely picking on me. Chu Duet snorted coldly, his eyes turning red and glowing. His whole body constantly emitted a red aura, causing the surrounding atmosphere to change, becoming more serious. He said emotionlessly, "This isn't fair. Begin." Then Chu Duet raised the hoe high, and the soil and rocks flew around chaotically. In a corner, Li Jin, wearing a shirt, was standing there. Her face was extremely beautiful, her lips sensual, and the shirt made her curves faintly visible. Li Jin held a water bottle in her hand and sighed. She lowered her head sadly and muttered to herself, "There's definitely something wrong." Then, as if she had made up her mind, Li Jin smiled brightly and poked her head out, calling, "Chu Duet, so you're here." She said happily, "I've been looking for you. It's been a long." Before she could finish her sentence, Li Jin was silenced by the scene before her eyes. The entire wall was splattered with dirt and rocks, and Chu Duet was standing there holding the hoe, wiping it repeatedly. He only now noticed someone had arrived, Li Jin. Chu Duet turned around and asked, "Are you all right?" She hesitated and replied, Li Jin gently tucked her hair behind her ear and glanced absent-mindedly at the vast expanse. "I'm much better, thank you, Chu Duet, for saving me." Unable to sense her intentions, he remained silent for a moment, then said impassively, "I promised to save you once. That was my responsibility, so there's no need for thanks." Li Jin, knowing Chu Duet's personality, wasn't offended. Instead, she picked up the water bottle, unscrewed the cap, and said softly, "Regardless, you saved my life." Li Jin held the cap in one hand and poured water into it with the other. The water was still steaming. "So, Chu Duet," she said, holding out the cap filled with water, her face flushed with shyness, "could you perhaps help me more in the future?" Chu Duet looked at the water she offered, remaining silent and not accepting it. Unexpectedly, he spoke no. Li Jin was startled. But, he turned around, not looking at her as he coldly said, "I said before this promise was because Uncle Li took care of my family in the beginning. I kept my promise. I have no responsibility to help you forever." Hearing him say this, Li Jin froze, her head bowed in sadness, silent and speechless. After a moment, she softly said, I understand." The clear sky couldn't hide the disappointment in her voice. After cleaning up, Chu Duet sighed, hands on his hips, admiring the results of his day's work. Finally, it's all clean. He looked at the swirling red aura in his palm and sighed. "It seems the blood tower's power still can't be used for plowing. I need more practice to improve my control." Suddenly, there was a loud banging on the door and a shout, "Chu Duet, is anyone home?" Chu Duet turned towards the door, his face impassive. He calmly walked to the gate and opened it, looking directly at the newcomers. "Who are you?" After some explanations, Chu Duet led them inside to talk. He crossed his arms and said seriously, "So, my current situation is..." The three people sitting on the chairs hung their heads sadly. Chu Duet continued, "There's no one left alive in the village." Bean Bean sobbed, "I'm sorry, ve." He bowed his head slightly, comforting them. "No, you can't be blamed. I said it before, this wasn't in our data. You all risked your lives searching the entire village. You did your best." Chu Duet looked at the three, Bing Bing, Huang Tao, and Uncle Nyo, all wearing expressions of self-blame. He said, "You all did well." Uncle Nyo hesitantly looked towards him. "So what should we do next?" Chu Duet closed his eyes in thought, then replied, "It's simple." His answer stunned Uncle Nyo. He continued, "Bathe, rest, and then eat a full meal. No matter what, you're still alive." A while later, Bing Bing came out of the bathroom, towel drying her hair. Holding the towel, she looked awkwardly at the clothes that were a bit small for her. Chuan's clothes seem a bit small. Won't this look strange? Xie Fang's voice called from afar. "Bing Bing, come here quickly, dinner's ready. She quickly replied, thank you, I'll be right there. Bing Bing smoothed her hair, thinking with embarrassment, oh well, strange is strange. Night fell, and outside was quiet. The light from the house brightened the space a little. Inside, the house was filled with laughter and chatter as everyone sat at the dinner table, talking animatedly. Xie Fong was preparing food with Chu on. Seeing Bing Bing come out, she said to her, Bing Bing, sit next to Chu Do It. Bing Bing shyly tucked her hair behind her ear. Oh yes, ma'am. Chu Do It also reached out to help her get settled. Li Jin, sitting to the side, watched this scene with clear displeasure, her pretty face wrinkling. On the other side, Chu Do It chatted intimately with Bing Bing, occasionally helping her with the food. The closer they seemed, the more uncomfortable Li Jin became. Uncle Nyo raised his cup high and cheerfully called out, all right, everyone's here. The lively chatter quieted down as everyone listened to him. As you all know, the situation. That those of us here are the only survivors of Green Mountain Village. We don't know what the situation is outside. We have no information yet, but we're still alive. Uncle Nyo looked at each person. Chu Do It, Bing Bing, we survived the wave of corpses, so from today onwards, we are a family. He then looked at his wife and children. We'll help each other and get through this together. Finally, he looked towards Li Jin. We not only have to survive, but we have to live well. After his touching speech, he raised his cup again and shouted cheers. Everyone raised their cups in response. Suddenly, a clatter echoed as a kin fell to the ground for no apparent reason. Chu Shu cried out in alarm, brother. Besahim tu ein suddenly golap. He quickly stood up and looked at Chuan, who was crumpled on the floor, and said anxiously, what's wrong? Chuan's face was drenched in sweat, her eyes turning red as she groaned. Chu Do It sat silently observing, his eyes also gradually turning red. Suddenly, Chuan glanced in a certain direction. Then, as if she had gone mad, she lunged towards Chu Do It, growling. After suddenly going berserk and rushing at Chu Do It, Chuan immediately bit into his shoulder. Chu Do It's entire body was enveloped in a familiar red aura. He silently and gently raised his hand. She still hadn't sensed the danger. Chu Do It gently pushed Chuan away with one hand and held her still. Chu Shu stood by anxiously, brother. Bing Bing also cried out, Chuan, what's wrong with you? Uncle Nyo softly urged, Chuan, let go of your brother. Why are you attacking him? Behind them, Li Jin suddenly recoiled. Her face turned pale as she watched the scene. As if understanding Uncle Nyo's words, the murderous look in Chu-on's eyes gradually subsided. Seeing this, Chu Do It murmured, awakening. Then, as Chu-on regained consciousness, he released her. Chu Do It smiled in satisfaction. The others, still unsure of what had happened, asked anxiously, Chu-on, are you all right? Chu-on glanced at her father, her face pale as she stammered, Dad, causing her family to worry even more. Uncle Nyo asked in confusion, Chu-on, what's the matter? She didn't know what to do and turned to Chu Do It, whispering for help. Brother, help me. This is so embarrassing. He just snorted in response. Then, quick as a flash, Chu Do It jabbed Chu-on in the stomach before she could react. He hoisted her over his shoulder and casually explained to everyone, something's wrong with the drink brother just had. Kids who drink it throw up. As if to prove his point, or perhaps due to the jab, Chu-on immediately began to retch. Chu Do It took the opportunity to say, I'll take her outside for some fresh air. You all keep eating, don't mind us. Everyone in the house, unsure of what had happened, silently watched the two of them go outside. Outside, the night sky was clear with few clouds, and the moon was full. Chu-on, not in the mood to admire the moon, held her head and cried out, mortified. Chu Do It stood silently by her side. Seeing Chu-on calm down, he scolded, how dare you consume the crystal nucleus? You're lucky nothing happened. Do you think you'll always be this lucky? Scolded, she was terrified and mumbled, I'm sorry, but I also want powers. Understanding her desire, Chu Do It remained silent, but he didn't agree with her method at all. If he hadn't sensed Chu Shu's power, he would have been thoroughly frightened by her this time. Finally, Chu Do It sighed, as if admitting defeat to his mischievous younger sister. Chu-on sat sobbing, so he approached her, patted her head, and said gently, let me teach you how to use your power. Chu Do It's hand remained on her head as he slowly sat down beside her and guided her step by step. Close your eyes and feel. Imagine your power as a flow of energy filling your entire body. He helped her sense the flow of power within her, the power that had become a part of her. Chu-on followed his instructions. She felt the currents of energy flowing around her body. Chu Do It's voice echoed in her ears. It's your instinct. Chuan silently felt it with every cell, every part of her body. Now, with her eyes closed, she used this newfound ability to perceive the world. Chuduit's voice rang out, "Chuan, what do you see?" She slowly opened her eyes, which glowed bright green. Chuan raised her hand and felt the currents of energy, the same color as her eyes. Unconsciously, she replied, "Life." Chuan's face seemed blank, but she spoke very clearly, "I see it. Life is circulating." Her hands followed the source of this energy flow as she murmured, "It seems like I can control this flow." Chuan gently touched a sprout, and immediately the life currents concentrated at her fingertips, moving towards the sprout. The more the life currents concentrated, the faster the sprout grew. Finally, when the sprout had become a healthy, thriving plant, she withdrew her hand. Chuan stared at the plant in front of her, asking incredulously, "Did I make the plant grow faster?" Chuduit reached out and examined the plant, saying with satisfaction, "Not bad." She was startled. "How do you know about this power?" He cheerfully pulled up the plant, revealing a cluster of large, healthy potatoes. Chuduit said excitedly, "These are the potatoes I planted this morning. I was worried about how to solve our food problem, but thanks to your power, we'll definitely have enough fruits and vegetables." Chuan exclaimed in dismay, "My power is for farming." She cried, imagining I thought I could shoot cosmic rays, control the weather, be a magical girl who could transform. She slumped down, looking at the potato plant in front of her. "In the end, I'm just a farming girl. I'm not reconciled." Chuduit was speechless, looking at Chuan. "What are you thinking about all day?" He thought to himself, logically, only a small percentage of people who consume a crystal nucleus awaken powers, but both my older brother and Chu Shu have awakened. This can't be called luck. Chuduit's eyes glowed green with suspicion. "I feel like all of this is related to my power." The next morning, the sun rose on time, illuminating the entire area. The rooster also began its duty, crowing loudly. While crowing heartily, a hand suddenly grabbed its neck, choking it mid-crow. Chuduit poked his head into the chicken coop from outside, his face annoyed as he said to the rooster, "Shut up." He then asked Uncle Nyo, who was also holding a hen, "Uncle Nyo, why is there a rooster crowing so early in the morning?" Uncle Nyo happily held up the hen and boasted, "And a hen too. We raised this one. We were going to keep it to lay eggs and hatch chicks." Huang Tao stood by, eavesdropping. Uncle Nyo continued, "A few years ago, the village was short of farm hands, so the village committee and Xiao Huang and I went to help out at farm for a while. When we arrived, they gave me a rooster and a hen as a gift. I've raised them ever since. Back then, we used them to supplement our food." Hearing Uncle Nyo's words, Chuduit suddenly remembered something. "A farm. I remember there's one near our house. At the Changshan village farm." The area was desolate, with rubble scattered everywhere and unfortunate individuals lying lifeless on the ground. Chuduit walked with a few people, looking around the area. He said with satisfaction, "Our goal this time is simple. Catch some poultry to raise and bring back some eggs that can hatch." Huang Tao silently looked around for a while. Then he hesitantly asked, "Are these all corpses? They didn't suddenly mutate and die, did they?" Huang Tao examined a body more closely. The body was covered in wounds that were both strange and familiar. But why do these people look like they were stabbed to death with weapons? Chuduit paid no attention and walked straight to the door, opening it automatically. "Don't worry, the corpses won't appear during the day. We just need to go into the rooms where the sun shines in." The other two quickly followed him inside. Huang Tao still couldn't stop worrying. "I wonder what the situation is like outside. It won't be like our village, will it?" Uncle Nyo reassured him, "What's wrong? We humans still have high-tech weapons. Maybe someone will come to save us again." Chuduit, walking in front, heard this and said pessimistically, "It's best not to get our hopes up." He continued in a low voice, "The scary thing isn't the corpses, but the poison from the corpses. It poses an unpredictable danger to humans. We can only rely." Chuduit's face hardened, "On ourselves." His tone silenced both Huang Tao and Uncle Nyo. After searching for a while, Uncle Nyo found an abandoned chicken coop with many things left inside. He happily called out, "Come and see. There are a lot of eggs here." Looking at the number of eggs in the coop, Uncle Nyo said excitedly, "There really are quite a few." Chuduit approached and asked, "So, are these eggs all right?" Uncle Nyo picked one up and examined it for a moment. "No problem," he said joyfully. "As long as the temperature is right, they can hatch." Huang Tao also came over to observe the coop, wondering, "But it's strange. Why are there only eggs? Where are the poultry?" His question stunned everyone. That's right, they thought. If they died, there should be bodies. Suddenly, a honking sound came from outside. Chuduit quickly looked towards the door, surprised. "That's a big goose." Outside the door was a huge, fat, and healthy goose. The goose looked very healthy and seemed delighted to see people, happily flapping its wings and honking. Huang Tao said excitedly, "Not bad luck after all. There's still live poultry." Uncle Neo reached out to Chu Duet, grabbed the sack, and confidently showed off his skills. "Chu Duet, give me the sack." Back on the farm, I was in charge of catching and raising these kinds of poultry. I'm a master at bagging them. Chu Duet looked at him without saying anything. Huang Tao, with practiced ease, grabbed the goose, explaining as he worked. "You absolutely cannot grab a goose by the neck. You have to be gentle, grab its wings firmly, and then slowly hold its belly." The goose flapped its wings wildly. "Look here," he said after a brief struggle, finally managing to tie the goose up. "This way, the goose loses its strength and is easy to hold. Tie its wings and feet together, and you can put it in the sack. Geese are really easy to handle." He held it up, showing off confidently. But this one's a bit of a dimwit. While he was still talking, the goose suddenly opened its beak, a gaping maw that could practically swallow a grown man whole. Huang Tao hadn't noticed yet, and the goose's enormous mouth lunged towards his face. Just as it was about to take off half of Huang Tao's face, Chu Duet rushed forward. He blocked the goose's beak with one hand, pushing it back, while using his other hand to shove Huang Tao's face forward. The goose, blocked by Chu Duet, immediately flew backward, crashing into the wall with a thud. Huang Tao finally reacted, asking dazedly, "Huh? What happened?" Without time to explain, Chu Duet just yelled, "Something's wrong. Run!" The three of them immediately ran out into the yard. Chu Duet suddenly stopped, raising a hand to halt the other two. A webbed foot appeared, or rather, a goose foot. A flock of mutated geese suddenly appeared in front of them. They immediately charged with a speed unimaginable for normal geese. Chu Duet, unsure what to do, could only watch as they lunged towards him with their gaping beaks. Suddenly, he looked to the side, spotting an exit. He yelled, "Run this way." Immediately, all three of them ran towards it as fast as they could. Uncle Neo and Huang Tao, exhausted, still pushed themselves to run. Chu Duet glanced back at the geese chasing them, assessing the situation. He thought to himself, Huang Tao and Uncle Neo are too slow. They can't escape these mutated poultry, and they're almost out of energy. His eyes flashed green. He grunted, "Let's try this. All right, I can hold them off for a bit. Run now, while you have the chance. Hey, there are more up ahead. We're surrounded. We're doomed. Quick, into the dormitory. Now we're trapped in here. Chu Duet, you still have a chance. I'm afraid Huang Tao and I won't escape this. No, it's my fault for putting you in danger. I'll get us out of here, I promise. If I use all my strength to spin the blood tower while carrying two grown men, I don't know if I can outrun these mutated poultry. If I run out of energy, we're really done for. Should I risk it? Wait, there's a computer here, and there's still power on the farm. What? Nothing. I can still connect to the network. I think I have a way. Huang Tao, I don't care what you do, but you have to hurry. This door won't hold for long. Give me 5 minutes. No, 3 minutes. I can deal with these things. 3 minutes. This door definitely won't hold. We have to take the initiative. This should buy us some more time. Huang Tao, are you done yet? Things sound pretty intense on Chu Duet's side. We have to hurry. Just one last step. Chu Duet, you have to hold on. Once this document finishes downloading, it'll all be over. What is this? This power, blood tower. I can't hold on any longer. Chu Duet, take Huang Tao and run. I'll buy you some time. Uncle Neo, don't hesitate. Otherwise, we'll all die here. I told you, I'll get you both back, so I won't leave anyone behind. This feeling, this powerful life, force, and burning destruction constantly intertwining. This sense of entanglement. It's all telling me it's done. What was that power just now? It drains so much of my strength. I can't move. Damn it, there's still some left. Come on, move. Stop. Uncle Neo, Chu Duet, are you two all right? Those mutated fowl ran off on their own. And this broadcast, Huang Tao, what did you do? Huh, it actually worked. I used the computer to hack into the PA system. I played the feeding music. This music is played on the farm when it's time to feed the poultry. As soon as they hear this music, they'll instinctively run back to their coops. Thank goodness we made it in time. We averted a disaster. I'm never coming back to this hellhole again. Thankfully, these eggs aren't broken. Uncle Neo, when did you get these? While you were catching the geese, I put them in my pockets. But there aren't many. These eggs definitely won't hatch in a mutated fowl, right? No, these eggs are over a week old. They definitely weren't mutated back then. At the house that served as the survivor's base, everyone gathered to discuss strategy. All right, let's settle on these group assignments. A voice rang out. Inside the house, everyone gathered in front of Blackboard. Chu On led the discussion, pointing at the board and saying, "On behalf of Commander Chu, I'll reiterate the operational plan as follows." She cleared her throat and said, "Attention all units. First is the security team." She tapped the G symbol on the board, responsible for patrolling around the base and protecting the structures. She looked towards Jian Hao, Huang Tao, and Chu Shu, saying, "Due to the three." Seeing Jian Hao's expression, she quickly corrected herself. "Commander Chu, second brother, and Huang Tao, the three of you are in charge." Next is the agriculture team, responsible for all flora and fauna. She tapped the A symbol on the board. "Uncle Nyo, myself." She glanced at Uncle Nyo, who was sipping tea, and Brother Z are in charge. The key is magic. She pointed to the M symbol on the board. Next is the resource management team, responsible for the system and classification of supplies, as well as developing material plans. She looked towards Mother and Li Jin. Mother and Sister Li Jin are in charge. Xie Fong was satisfied with this arrangement, but Li Jin lowered her head, her expression unreadable. Chuan tapped the E symbol and said, "Finally, the exploration team, responsible for searching for supplies and scouting the surrounding area. They're the eyes of the base." She looked towards Chu Duet and Bing Bing. "Chu Duet and Bing Bing are in charge of this," she said. As she finished her report, the sky began to turn towards evening. Chuan called out, "Everyone, start preparing. Today's strategy meeting is adjourned." Then she turned to Jian Hao coquettishly. "Commander Jian, wasn't my performance today pretty good?" He replied cheerfully, "Quite good. We might consider transferring you to the advisory board later." Chuan burst out laughing. The meeting concluded, and everyone returned to their rooms. Chu Duet did the same. The next day, he stood before his desk, carefully checking his bag. He mentally reviewed his preparations. This time going out, I must have sufficient weapons, explosives, and first aid supplies. I can't make the same mistakes as I did at the farm. Suddenly, someone called him, "Chu Duet." Then, before he could react, a hand gently tugged at his shirt. Li Jin rested her head against Chu Duet's back. He turned around in surprise and asked Li Jin, "What's wrong?" Her voice trembled. "Chu Duet, take me with you." Chu Duet was taken aback. "What?" Her eyes glazed over as she recalled the image of Chu On from the other day. "I'm afraid of Brother Z," she said, her voice trembling. "I want to go with you. I know a safe place in the village." Li Jin straightened up, but her hand still clutched Chu Duet's shirt. She spoke softly. "The supplies there are plentiful. If it's just the two of us. Suddenly, her voice rose. "We can definitely survive until rescue arrives. I'll listen to everything you say. I'll do anything you ask." She gestured wildly at herself, her voice frantic. "We don't need to worry about anyone else. Before she could finish, her face turned pale, her eyes filled with fear. Chu Duet was furious at her words. He looked at her coldly, silencing her. His voice was thick with anger, telling me to abandon my family. He grabbed the strap of his bag. "If you dare say something like that again, I'll leave you here." He slung the bag over his shoulder and walked past her coldly. "I'll leave you to fend for yourself." Then, his voice dripping with sarcasm, he added, "Besides, you were the one who abandoned me in the first place, weren't you?" Li Jin was speechless, her face drained of color. Chu Duet, having said his piece, walked out the door, ignoring her. Suddenly, he noticed someone waiting in the corner. It was Bing Bing. She was leaning against the wall, playing with her hair, pretending not to have heard anything. Seeing him approach, she turned, a shy look on her face. "Oh, shall we go?" Chu Duet looked at her, but didn't call her out. All right, they arrived at a small fishing spot. The sky was clear and sunny. Bing Bing looked around and commented, "This fishing area is quite deserted. Who would even open a business here?" She looked out at the water. Chu Duet turned and explained, "Lin Jie opened it. I just stumbled upon this place by chance." Hearing Lin Jie's name, Bing Bing asked curiously, "Speaking of Lin Jie, I still don't understand why he hates you so much." "Oh, that goes back to when we were in school," Chu Duet said, recalling his student days. "Back then, he was a rich kid, always acting superior. Everyone deferred to him, but I didn't like that kind of person. I always challenged him on everything, and I always won." He summarized. "Then, Li Jin and I became close, and he tried to steal her away. He tried to show off in front of me several times." Bing Bing listened silently. A moment later, she spoke, "But he doesn't like Li Jin at all. does he? I heard people say Lin Jia often humiliates her. Chu Duet replied indifferently. His goal is to get revenge on me, but I don't care. Li Jin can be with whoever she wants. Bing Bing hummed, then hesitantly asked, but I heard the two of you had an arranged marriage. They had reached the bridge by now. That was decided by the adults. Back in school, they were clearly against dating. But after graduation, they kept pushing for marriage. So, Bing Bing continued, you've never even been in love, and they're already pushing you to get married. She seemed to sense something. She turned to look towards the bridge. The lake's surface was calm and silent, but this peace didn't ease Bing Bing's vigilance. Stop. They quickly approached the warehouse. Bing Bing gasped in surprise. There's a stone cellar this big down here. She looked at the cellar door. But the door, that seems a bit much. It's like a bank vault. She asked, Chu Duet, how did you know about this place? Chu Duet fumbled for the light switch. Answering casually, I heard Lin Jia mention it before. It was really just luck. He thought to himself, in my past life, not long after the outbreak, I stumbled upon this place by chance. Relying on the food supplies here, I managed to survive for a long time. The door was about to open. Bing Bing entered first, Chu Duet following behind, looking around. But when I came here then, the power was already cut off. Luckily, I managed to turn on the backup generator. That's why these supplies weren't spoiled. This time, there's still power. Is it because we stopped the first horde? So, something changed. He suddenly thought. Or is there someone here? He glanced to the side. Suddenly, Bing Bing screamed. He turned around in alarm. What's wrong? Inside, Bing Bing was slumped on the ground, looking up. She stammered, in nothing. To startle me a bit, she shuddered slightly. The head of this fish. It's strange. Is it some rare species? In front of her were bizarre fish heads, unlike any fish she had ever seen. Their eyes were dull and lifeless. Suddenly, those eyes turned red, fixing their gaze on Bing Bing. In an instant, Chu Duet's hand shot out. He smashed the creature with his bare hand, sending debris flying. He frowned, thinking a mutated fish. His hand touched one of the heads. Suddenly, the head shot a powerful stream of water at him while he was distracted. The water slammed him against the stone wall behind him. Chu Duet coughed up some blood. He thought this strength, a level 2 zombie. Just as he thought this, the fish head stood up, revealing a large, grotesque body that looked nothing like a fish. Bing Bing rushed to stand in front of him, asking anxiously, Chu Duet, are you all right? He said firmly, go. We can't fight it here. A noise behind them caught his attention. When he turned to look, he realized something was terribly wrong. The cellar door, it's closed. The iron door slammed shut, the handle turning to lock them inside. Seeing this, Chu Duet quickly pulled his knife from his pocket, throwing the bag to the ground, preparing to fight. His face was filled with killing intent. There's no time to open the cellar door. I have to kill this thing first. With that, he charged towards a mutated fish with his knife. Bing Bing was worried seeing this situation, but she knew that if she joined in, she would only hold Chu Duet back. On the other side, Chu Duet was starting to have trouble. Damn it, these fish scales are like armor. He swung his knife at the fish with all his might, but it didn't even leave a scratch. It's impossible to cut through. He was immediately flung backward by the fish. He quickly regained his balance, landing lightly. His eyes glowed crimson as he looked at the fish. Scales covered its entire body. He had to find a weak spot. He carefully observed the fish's entire body. There, he looked towards the gills. They seemed to be the monster's weak point. Then he braced himself, taking a powerful leap. His feet even cracked the floor. The fish in front of him hadn't yet noticed his intention. He immediately darted forward, circling behind the fish. His knife pointed directly at the gills, the spot he believed to be its weakness. Just as the knife was about to make contact, several dark red tails suddenly emerged from the fish's gills, blocking Chu Duet's knife. He looked at his knife, now trapped. Information about this strange creature flashed through his mind. Parasitic mutant insects on the fish's gills, symbiotic with the fishman, protect their host in times of danger. The fish seized the opportunity while he was blocked, using its tail to send him flying. Chu Duet was flung back, crashing hard against an electrical cabinet. He sat amidst the debris, his head hanging low, his condition unclear. He sat motionless for a moment. Seeing him still, the fish approached to investigate. In a flash, he grabbed a severed electrical wire from the debris caused by the earlier collision. He jammed the live wire directly onto the fish, electrocuting it. He had jammed it directly into the fish's mouth. The powerful current surged through the creature. No matter how tough its armor, the fish couldn't withstand the electricity. After taking this critical hit from Chu Duet, the mutated fish collapsed. Chu Duet sighed in relief. a smile of joy spreading across his face as he realized he had escaped death. He looked at the charred fish, adding another stab with his knife for good measure, and pondered. Even after being reborn, many things were the same as his previous life. But these seemingly random events. That level 2 zombie was clearly intentionally released into the stone cellar. Seeing this, Bing Bing didn't approach. She returned to the door, using all her strength to try and open it, but to no avail. She tried turning the handle, but it seemed to be stuck fast, not budging even slightly. She stopped, helpless, staring at the door in terror. What's going on? The cellar door won't open. Someone locked it from the outside. Chu Duet glanced at the door, his eyes flashing green and red. He lowered his voice, telling Bing Bing to step back a bit. Then his entire body was enveloped in a red aura. He raised a hand, and the aura shifted and flowed with his movements. Then he struck a powerful blow towards the door. Dust and debris flew everywhere. Bing Bing stood to the side, watching the door expectantly. But when the dust settled, the door remained standing firm, while Chu Duet was now completely drained of energy. He hung his head in thought. It's no use. The material of this door is definitely high grade. Plus, being underground, this door is actually at its strongest point. Bing Bing ran over to him anxiously. Chu Duet. He spoke to her wearily. That was all the strength I had, but it seems I still can't open this door. He gasped, wearily saying, I need to rest for a bit. Bing Bing looked at him resolutely. Rest up. I'll check this warehouse thoroughly. There might be another way out. A moment later, Bing Bing went off to investigate the surroundings, while Chu Duet sat down to rest beside the rubble. He looked up. Bing Bing returned to him, hanging her head sheepishly, her face full of self-reproach. There's nothing. I've looked everywhere. She sat down next to Chu Duet and said sadly, there's no way out. Chu Duet didn't blame her. After all, this was the outcome he had expected. He started to think the lowest temperature in this ice warehouse is minus 18 degrees Celsius. We can't last long, and even if we survive the low temperature, we'll suffocate from lack of air in this sealed room. We can't keep this up any longer. Chu Duet stood up. I'll try again. Suddenly, Bing Bing held out something and asked this. Chu Duet saw the object, and his expression changed dramatically. Bing Bing looked at the purple stone in her hand. She said sadly, if I eat this, I'll also have abilities like you, right? Chu Duet, who hadn't raised his voice at her before, grabbed her hand and shouted, do you know what this means? This is very dangerous. What if? Bing Bing ignored his concern and looked towards the monster Chu Duet had just defeated. She said resolutely, you can't use that power continuously, and the effect is limited. Chu Duet, do you know? If we continue like this, we'll die. Her face contorted with a grimace. So, let's make one last gamble. I bet I can survive, and maybe awakening my abilities will help us escape this poverty. A feeling. Chu Duet, then bet? This was how Bing Bing awakened her abilities in his previous life. He still held her hand, but his grip loosened. Will things be different this time because of my intervention? Finally, Chu Duet chose to accept fate and let go of her hand. Bing Bing looked at him in surprise. I haven't finished persuading you yet. Chu Duet smiled and said, are you ready? He thought to himself, she has shown her courage, so why am I so afraid? Bing Bing held the stone in her hand, observed it for a moment, and said shyly, before, I might have been scared, but now that you're here, I feel like I can do it. After saying that, she mustered her courage and put the stone in her mouth. Sometime later, as dusk began to settle, a voice echoed through the area. Chu Duet, Bing Bing, where are you? Jianhao looked around anxiously. Where did that brat run off to? He went out without a word. Chu Shu also searched with him, saying worriedly, at this rate, it'll be dark soon. A sudden roar echoed through the quiet forest. Jianhao stopped, startled. Aren't zombies supposed to appear at night? Chu Shu also stopped to assess the situation. I don't know. Something's not right. A scream suddenly came from up ahead, and Chu Shu looked in that direction. He realized with horror, oh no, it's Huang Tao. He didn't notice a figure lurking behind the tree where he stood. The person revealed a sinister smile, a bad omen. The city lay in ruins after the fierce attack. Chu Duet slumped, unsure how much time had passed. Suddenly, a voice called out loudly, Chu Duet, wake up. Chu Duet gradually opened his eyes and looked around. Chu Duet, it was Bing Bing, holding a gun and aiming. Chu Duet turned his head to look at her. Bing Bing frowned and shouted, "Get up." She glanced at Chu Do-It with a serious look and said, "Something's wrong." Looking down from the ruined building, a horde of zombie beasts suddenly approached. For level 4 dogs and 2 level 6 tigers. Chu Do-It observed the situation through binoculars, saw that things looked bad, and immediately informed Bing Bing. In 20 minutes, they'll be able to gather a large number of zombies. We have to immediately inform the other squads to disperse. However, Bing Bing said blankly, "It's too late." She frowned sadly and said, "Unless I stay here and lure the leader, try to buy you some time." Chu Do-It was startled upon hearing this. "Captain, Bing Bing interrupted him, "you being here won't help." She continued coldly, "Your powers haven't awakened yet. Staying here will only be a burden to me." Chu Do-It lowered his head in frustration, thinking angrily, "Why? I clearly drank the core crystal, but I haven't changed at all. Why haven't any powers awakened?" He hesitantly called out to her, "Xia Bing Bing." Chu Do-It looked at her and said hesitantly, "You have to come back alive." She forced a gentle smile. At this moment, a voice called out, "Chu Do-It, wake up." Like a dream, Chu Do-It gradually opened his eyes. It was Bing Bing. She was anxiously calling him nonstop, "Chu Do-It." Chu Do-It looked at her, bewildered and confused. "What's wrong? Why are you so hot?" Bing Bing also didn't understand, replying, "I don't know. I feel terrible." Her body was burning hot, her breathing heavy and uncomfortable. Bing Bing couldn't bear it and pulled at her clothes in distress, her whole body feeling like it was on fire. Bing Bing finally couldn't stand it anymore and pulled down her shirt, yelling, "So hot, so hot." Chu Do-It panicked, hurriedly trying to find a solution. "Wait, I'll get you some ice." "Hey, don't take everything off." Bing Bing was helpless but continued to cry out, I can't, don't look." Chu Do-It, embarrassed, said, "I'm not looking, I'm turning around." He immediately moved to another spot so she wouldn't be embarrassed. After a while, hearing silence, he immediately asked, "Feeling any better?" It seemed that Bing Bing was feeling better now. She looked down worriedly and said to him, "Chu Do-It." She was frightened. "I think I see zombies, so many everywhere." Hearing this, Chu Do-It immediately reassured her, "Don't panic, that's your power." Chu Do-It calmly thought to himself, as expected, it's the power of perception. We really can't get out. At this moment, she opened her eyes wide and sensed below, "I see them." Now with her mutated ability, Bing Bing could see through the walls and discovered many zombies below. "There's so many zombies under the floor." Chu Do-It exclaimed in surprise, "Under the floor? Could it be?" The two of them immediately started searching the room. After a while, Chu Do-It discovered something. Found it. He pried up a brick from the floor and saw a secret passage. The two of them immediately climbed down into the secret passage. Suddenly, Bing Bing said uncomfortably, "What's that smell?" Chu Do-It recognized it and explained to her, "It's the smell of sulfur. This place is probably a warehouse Lin Xiang's family used to store explosives. No wonder this place has always been operational, and the security is so good." Chu Do-It smiled and exclaimed, "This fishing ground is just a front. It's all just a cover." A sudden strange noise made both of them fall silent and observe. Perhaps the zombies were very close to them. Chu Do-It immediately turned to Bing Bing and said, "It's too dark here. I can't see. I'm relying on you." Hearing this, Bing Bing was startled and stammered, "Huh, me?" He immediately pulled his knife out of his pocket and reassured her, "It's okay. You'll be fine." Bing Bing looked at Chu Do-It in surprise. She smiled and gradually became more confident, then immediately used her power. She detected the zombie ahead and quickly informed Chu Do-It of its location. The first one, about 10 centimeters ahead. Chu Do-It identified the target, easily rushed forward, and slashed the zombie down. Done. His blade was so fast and sharp that with just one slash, he cut the zombie in half, blood splattering everywhere. Chu Do-It smiled with satisfaction. Done. At this moment, Bing Bing continuously reported, "Next, 2 meters to the left, 2 are coming." On the right, Chu Do-It accelerated and charged forward. He took them down easily without wasting too much time. For meters to the left, 2 more. He followed Bing Bing's instructions and rushed towards the zombies like a fired arrow. 7 meters behind, 1. His eyes were cold as he struck without any hesitation. 3 meters to the right, 1. After a while, they reached a room. Chu Do-It slammed against the door with all his might. He quickly broke through the door and rushed in. However, unexpectedly, the room was completely filled with cardboard boxes. Bing Bing frowned worriedly and asked Chu Do-It, "What do we do now?" They both looked around helplessly. The room had no other exits. There's no way out here. Chu Duet looked around and quickly walked towards a large water tank. There's a water pipe here. It probably leads to the fish pond at the fishing grounds. Without hesitation, they both jumped in and swam along the pipe. They swam through the narrow pipe and reached the fish pond at the fishing grounds. Bing Bing thought to herself with joy, finally, we're out. It's a good thing my power is still useful. But before she could celebrate for long, a giant zombie fish appeared right in front of her. It immediately swallowed her whole. Bing Bing froze. Chu Duet quickly grabbed her hand and pulled. The terrifyingly large fish held her in its mouth and dragged her away. Chu Duet couldn't pull her out. He looked at her helplessly. It seemed that Bing Bing had also accepted her sacrifice and gave up. She looked at him regretfully. Chu Duet stared at her, stunned. Bing Bing let go of Chu Duet's hand. She still managed to smile as she looked towards Chu Duet, then was helplessly dragged away by the fish. Suspended in the endless current, Chu Duet felt utterly helpless. He had witnessed not once, but twice, Bing Bing sacrificing herself and leaving him. The fish dragged her away mercilessly. Both times, he watched her back as she sacrificed herself to save the team. He floundered as he watched the terrifying fish swim further and further away. Chu Duet remained motionless, seemingly resigned. But this time, Chu Duet was determined to swim after the fish and save Bing Bing. Well, I let go again this time. Chu Duet's eyes burned with determination, a blue light flashing from them. The light continued to spread further, like long threads. Unexpectedly, the light controlled the seaweed and algae, causing them to move towards the fish. The seaweed stretched out, chasing after the fish. Chu Duet, almost at his limit, was still determined to pursue it. Finally, the fish was bound and held tightly by the seaweed, rendering it immobile. Bing Bing was still trapped in the fish's mouth, almost completely drained of energy. In a daze, she saw a blurry figure and whispered Chu Duet. A red light was gradually approaching the fish. It was Chu Duet swimming rapidly towards her. His face, etched with worry and panic, drew closer. After an unknown amount of time, Bing Bing was safely rescued and lay recuperating. She slowly opened her eyes, surprised to find herself lying next to a fire. She couldn't believe her eyes. Bing Bing immediately sat up and called out, Chu Duet. Chu Duet turned around in surprise and asked, "You're awake." He had just finished preparing food for both of them. Chu Duet gently reassured her, "Just in time, I just warmed up some canned food. Eat a little to regain your strength. The fish in this fishing area are probably inedible now." She looked at him with gratitude and said, "Thank you," before asking curiously, "Where's that monster fish? I only remember you swimming towards me, and then I lost consciousness." She speculated, maybe it became food for other fish at the bottom of the lake. It was just big, not as troublesome as the mutated fish in the ice warehouse. Chu Duet frowned with some apprehension and said, "But this kind of mutated fish will spread through the water. This kind of mutation is happening all over the world. It's unavoidable." She hesitated and then continued. Chu Duet, Bing Bing reminisced, a little puzzled. "Back in school, you were the quiet, reserved type, not easy to approach. Back then, I felt you were difficult to get along with, and I didn't have much contact with you. But since the zombie outbreak, you've saved my life time and time again, even risking your own life." Pausing for a moment, Bing Bing furrowed her brow and asked hesitantly, "Why is that?" Chu Duet remained silent for a moment. Then he answered seriously, "Actually, I saved you before because I needed your power to protect my family." Bing Bing was disappointed. "Is that so?" They both sat in silence before the fire. But Bing Bing didn't want to stop there. She continued awkwardly, probing, and now. Chu Duet quickly turned now. Chu Duet's gaze met Bing Bing's, seemingly understanding her thoughts. Bing Bing looked directly at him, blushing shyly. Both were embarrassed and speechless. Bing Bing turned away, quickly changing the subject. When are we going back?" Chu Duet quickly said, "Right now. With your power, we can avoid the zombies." They immediately set off into the night. After some time, they arrived back at their base. They quickly returned home and called out, "Brother, Bing Bing, you're finally back." Chuan rushed to hug Chu Tian, sobbing, "Do you know how worried I was?" Chu Duet comforted and reassured her, "Don't be like that. Is everyone all right?" Chu Ang Vi Mai Si Len. After a moment, she calmed down and told them, "Come inside with me." Chu Duet and Bing Bing entered the house, both stunned into silence by the sight before them. Chu Duet, how could this be? One of his teammates had unexpectedly transformed into a zombie. He was no longer conscious and was tightly bound with ropes. The other teammate explained, "We went looking for you in Bing Bing, and we were ambushed by zombies on the way." He said sadly, "We were originally just looking for a level 2 zombie to get a crystal nucleus to save him, but we failed." A middle-aged man sat slumped on the sofa, despondent. Little Huang. He looked up helplessly and asked, "Can he still be saved?" Chu Duet frowned, thinking to himself with frustration, "No, the poison has already reached his brain." Looking at his teammate, who had transformed into a zombie and was struggling, he thought, even if we use a crystal nucleus now, Huang Tao can only become a mutated monster. Huang Tao, still retaining a sliver of consciousness, groaned, "I don't want to." He struggled to speak, turning into a zombie. His whole body trembled as the transformation continued. "Don't hesitate." With his last bit of strength, he yelled, "Kill me." Chu Duet remained silent in despair. He hesitated as he drew his dagger. Is there no other way? Suddenly, Chu Duet noticed someone trembling behind him. He quickly turned around to see a woman standing there, frowning and trembling without a word. Chu Duet urgently pulled Ta Fuang towards him. "Mom, come here." Ta Fuang, startled by the sudden pull, let out a surprised, "Huh?" Chu Duet took out a carefully wrapped purple spirit stone and handed it to her. "Mom, quickly eat this." Ta Fuang held the spirit stone and asked him suspiciously, "Is this the kind of crystal nucleus that the young lady gave Huang Tao? Where did you get it?" He urgently told her to eat it. "Bing Bing, and I found it at the fishing grounds." "Hurry, there's no time." Ta Fuang hesitated before eating it. "But I haven't been infected, Xiao Chut. What are you planning to do?" Chu Duet, increasingly anxious, urged her, unable to explain fully at the moment. "Mom, you have to trust me." Chu Shu, standing guard outside, heard the roar of a zombie and shouted urgently, "Chut Zi, Brother Huang can't hold on any longer." Chu Duet, inside, also heard the zombies roar and panic. He rushed out. "Damn it, are we too late?" As he ran, he calculated in his mind, "At this rate, before Mom's powers awaken, Brother Huang will have already turned into a zombie. I have to force Mom to make a decision now." Huang Tao could no longer restrain himself. He broke free from the ropes binding him, his eyes turning red as he roared, "Chu Duet." Using the last of his awareness, Huang Tao pleaded, "Quickly, kill me." Chu Duet raised his blade, his eyes filled with sorrow. He began to raise his blade, thinking regretfully, "I'm sorry, Brother Huang." Huang Tao, thinking of his deceased wife, whispered, "Ahan, I'm coming." As soon as he finished speaking, Huang Tao's eyes changed. Chu Duet raised his blade, about to strike the final blow, when he sensed a surge of energy from behind him. He turned around in surprise. What is this? It was Ta Fuang's energy. She had awakened and integrated with the spirit stone. Her face now looked as young as a woman in her 20s, her figure voluptuous. Chu Duet, stunned, called out, "Mom." She glanced at him and formed a cross symbol with her hand. A cross appeared on Huang Tao's forehead. His eyes widened in surprise. His body began to purge the infection and gradually return to normal. Huang Tao, back to his usual self, happily looked at everyone and announced, "Look everyone, I'm cured." Chu On and Chu Shu, sweating profusely, asked Ta Fuang, "Mom, is that you?" Jian Hao, seeing his wife's youthful appearance again, blushed. Fuang, how did you become like this?" Ta Fuang, finding their reaction strange, asked, "Why are you all looking at me like that?" Huang Tao, seeing that everyone was ignoring him, announced again, "I'm recovered." Chu Duet, as if he had foreseen the outcome, smiled and said, "Just as I thought." Night had completely fallen. Inside the only house on the street with lights on, the sound of conversation continuously emanated. "So that's how it is. Mom awakened her purification ability." Jian Hao continued, and then the healing light purged the zombie poison from Xiao Huang's body. Chu unhappily hugged Ta Fuang and said, "So Mom became younger because her ability awakened. That's amazing. Mom, you were so beautiful when you were young." Chu Duet explained, "Perhaps abilities do cause various changes to the body." Chu On and Chu Shu competed to ask more questions. "So can it purify black hair and acne? Or can it turn zombies back into normal people?" Chu Duet, a little tired of the two, conjured a cross in his hand and said seriously, "Don't even think about it. This power can only detoxify those infected. But for those who have already turned into zombies, it only has the effect of killing them." Jianhao rejoiced, so we don't have to be afraid if someone gets infected anymore. He then moved closer to Ta Fuang and said, just purify me, a Fuang. Purify me tonight. Ta Fuang, annoyed by him, pushed his face away and asked Chu to do it. I understand about the abilities, but there's something I still don't understand. Chu Duet asked her in surprise, what is it? Ta Fuang narrowed her eyes and voiced her question. How did you know I could save Xiao Huang? It's like you knew beforehand. Chu Duet replied, I couldn't explain it, but at that time, I felt that you could awaken your ability. He thought to himself, at the same time, I sense Brother Huang and Brother Z, and this feeling keeps getting stronger. But I can't sense Xia Bingbing's ability, so I can't use her ability. Maybe my ability is limited to family members. The more family members awaken their abilities, the stronger mine might become. Chu Duet stood behind the sofa where Bingbing was sitting. He spoke up. Let's begin, Bingbing. Could you please check how many zombies are around? Okay, Bingbing replied decisively. Her pupils lit up. She started scanning the area around the house, then the entire neighborhood. She began to report the numbers. There are nearly 100 in the forest near the mine. There are also over 100 behind the mountain. Chu Duet asked, did you see any type 2 zombies? Bingbing immediately replied, yes, there are 3 up ahead. Chu Duet started calculating in his head. Just 3 people, Ba, Brother Huang, and Uncle Mao. That should be enough fighting power. Suddenly, Bingbing saw something. Chu Duet asked anxiously, what is it? Drops of sweat trickled down Bingbing's temples. The zombies moved. Almost simultaneously, they all turned in one direction, towards Lin Tuong. They were heading towards Lin Tuong. Chu Duet was shocked. He thought Lin Tuong, but I saw him burn to ashes right in front of me. Xiao Bingbing saw it too. Could it really be Lin Tuong? His eyes darkened. Damn it. Was the person who closed the warehouse door Lin Tuong, after all? Huang Tao and the others being ambushed. It seems that was his handiwork too. Bingbing anxiously asked him what to do. What should we do? Should we inform everyone so they can be prepared? Chu Duet was silent for a moment, then said, based on the current situation, Lin Tuong still needs a day to gather enough zombies, instead of waiting for them to attack. That we should take the initiative and attack, catching them off guard. Night fell in the forest. Chu Duet held a flashlight, shining it as he shouted, come out, Lin Tuong. I know you're here. Suddenly, he heard a noise. It was Lin Tuong. He laughed loudly and said, I never expected this. Chu Duet. He spoke confidently. So you've come looking for death yourself. Hearing those words, Chu Duet mocked him. Really? Wasn't it you who played dead last time? Lin Tuong roared, revealing sharp fangs. Shut up. He charged forward. A beastly hand with sharp claws had sprouted from his back. His claws were almost upon him, but Chu Duet remained calm. At the right moment, he opened his eyes. The blade he had been holding slashed across Lin Tuong, leaving a trail of blood. The blade cut through Lin Tuong's clothes and grazed his skin, causing blood to splatter. Lin Tuong said, it seems I guessed correctly. Your burns haven't fully healed yet. So in the ice warehouse, you didn't dare to attack directly, only making small movements. Chu Duet sneered. It seems you're still as cowardly as ever. Lin Tuong refused to be outdone. Don't get cocky. Even if I'm injured, just you alone. Suddenly, an explosion occurred in the distance within the forest. Chu Duet glanced at Lin Tuong's surprised reaction and said, you want to say you have strong reinforcements. Unfortunately, I knew that already. I ambushed them on the way. The explosion in the forest quickly ignited into a blaze. One person lay motionless. Jianhao stood above him, holding a wine bottle, and sneered, this time, you're dead for sure. He laughed loudly. Unexpected, isn't it? I was waiting for you here. You'll all turn to dust. As soon as he finished speaking, he missed a step. He fell from above, causing Jianhao to scream. Fortunately, Ta Fuang was below to support him. She caught him. Jianhao clung to Ta Fuang's neck, acting spoiled. A Fuang. Zombies were now converging from all directions. Ta Fuang's face turned serious. They're gathering again. Her pupils flashed. A surge of energy radiated into the sky. The zombies roared and rushed forward. A beam of blue light swept past. Ta Fuang, seeing how easily it was done, praised herself, I can handle this much. This ability is quite convenient. Jianhao rushed over and hugged Ta Fuang. Honey, you're amazing. She, already used to this, contacted Bingbing without a second thought. Hello, Bingbing. We've cleared the zombies at point A. A voice came from inside the house. Where's the next point? Inside, Bingbing looked at the map and pointed. Okay, the next point is 1 kilometer west, 24 zombies. Ta Fuang grepliet understod. She then asked, how's the situation over there? Is it it's safe. Bing Bing reassured her, don't worry, we're hiding in the basement, and there are people guarding the entrance. Elsewhere in the forest, Brother Chu Shu, can you hear me? Are you okay on your own? Chu Shu replied confidently, don't worry. I'm enveloped in this red energy. These zombies aren't enough to defeat me. Jianhao's excited voice came over the radio. Those zombies wouldn't have dreamed we'd launch a surprise attack. Chu Shu praised Bing Bing. We're lucky to have Xia Bing Bing this time. Lucky to have her intelligence and command. Jianhao agreed. Exactly. Bing Bing is truly our lucky star. She should be the commander of our team from now on. Bing Bing humbly replied, it's all thanks to everyone's hard work. I only helped a little. Suddenly, she sensed something and exclaimed, wait, Chu Do It. With Chu Do It, he had tied up Lin Tuong. He stood there, looking at him with a slight smile. Lin Tuong let out a few breaths. Impossible. He refused to accept defeat and yelled, I can't lose. Chu Do It calmly stated, both flanks are blocked, and I've crushed the center. Do you really think you can come back from this? Chu Do It's finger emitted a red energy as he pointed at Lin Tuong. It's over, Lin Tuong. Lin Tuong remained silent. He let out a sinister laugh and said, yes, it's over. Bing Bing shouted into the radio, warning Chu Do It, be careful. 3 zombies are heading your way. Chu Do It turned to face the monsters. He was surprised, rat-like. He broke out in a sweat, but their combat strength is the worst. Lin Tuong, you don't think I can be defeated by just these, do you? Lin Tuong was still laughing. Who says I need them? He had broken free from Chu Do It's restraints. He suddenly touched one of the monsters. Look closely. Lin Tuong pulled a handful of purple spirit stones from the monster's body. He ate the spirit stones while calling out Chu Do It's name, his mouth chewing noisily. Lin Tuong transformed. 2 horns grew on his head and 2 more on his shoulders. His hair turned white. He declared, this is my true power. It turned out he had become a Tier 3 mutant. That night, in a certain forest, a horned monster with glowing red eyes grinned, revealing its teeth. Chu Do It thought to himself, a Tier 3 mutant. I'll have to go all out. In an instant, a red energy enveloped Chu Do It. Before him stood the Tier 3 mutant. Chu Do It positioned his feet, ready to move forward. He kicked off the ground and lunged towards the mutant. Chu Do It's eyes flashed as he prepared a lightning-fast attack. He immediately struck at the Tier 3 mutant's neck, but unfortunately, the attack was repelled. Chu Do It was thrown back. The Tier 3 mutant laughed scornfully. Chu Do It, is that all you've got? Hearing that, Chu Do It regained his balance, his eyes blazing. He continued to attack the mutant. Just then, the mutant laughed, truly disappointing. Is this the extent of your ability? He grabbed Chu Do It's head, bringing their faces close. Chu Do It's eyes widened. At that moment, a powerful blow slammed down, devastating the surrounding terrain. As the dust settled, the mutant looked down at a blue object. Another ability. He muttered, running away underground. He said, looking into the distance. He laughed. No matter. I'll find you and slowly torture you to death. Then I'll kill your entire family. Chu Do It emerged from a tree trunk, gasping for breath. He thought to himself, so this is the fighting power of a Tier 3 mutant. I never directly faced one in my previous life. I didn't expect it to be this strong. Staggering out from the tree, he continued to think, even with my older brother and mother, we might not be a match for him. I have to think of something fast. Suddenly, the sky turned red. Chu Do It looked up in surprise. What is this? He assessed the situation seriously. This isn't a battle a Tier 3 mutant can create. What's happening? At that moment, a green energy erupted from the middle of the forest and expanded outwards, powerful enough to clash with the red energy. Chu Do It thought, no, that's wrong. There's someone else. As soon as he finished that thought, 2 figures appeared within the radiating energies. Suddenly, the Tier 3 mutant appeared behind Chu Do It, sneering. Chu Do It, you have time to be distracted. Chu Do It spun around in shock. The mutant roared angrily. Are you looking down on me? His tail lashed out, sending Chu Do It flying. The force was strong enough to split a tree in half. Luckily, Chu Do It landed on a large boulder. The dust and smoke gradually cleared, revealing a weakened Chu Do It. Chu Do It's face paled. The mutant placed a hand on his forehead and declared, since you can't run anymore, then die. Suddenly, a white light emanated from between the red and green energies. In an instant, everything fell silent and still. Chu Do It, his face down, thought, what's happening? It's like everything is frozen. I can't move, but I think I can still activate my ability. His tired eyes began to close. Suddenly, a beam of energy shot out from Chu Duet's forehead, striking the mutant's eye and vanishing. The mutant screamed in agony. "My eye!" He fled, leaving the battered Chu Duet behind. Damn it! Damn it! Chu Duet's body felt heavy as he collapsed. From afar, a voice called out, "Chu Zi." It was Chu Duet's brother. "Chu Zi, are you all right?" Lin Tuong asked breathlessly. He ran towards the forest. "Hurry, chase him." Just then, Chu Duet's brother quickly ran towards him. Chu Duet thought to himself, I need to quickly deal with this Lin Tuong variable. This world is becoming increasingly strange. Earlier, two figures appeared in the sky. Now, high-level mutants, who shouldn't even exist yet, are appearing. In his past life, at the survivors' gathering place, a fire flickered amongst the makeshift tents. A young man knelt with his hands cuffed. A scarred man announced that a survivor had been discovered in Tan Sun village. The boss smirked. The image revealed a shirtless man with red eyes, sitting on a wooden crate. He asked about the number of zombies in Tan Sun village. Chu Duet frowned. He replied, "A lot, nearly 1,000. It's very dangerous." The boss's underling scoffed, dismissing 1,000 zombies as a threat, and insulted him, calling him useless. Just then, the boss spoke, "What's the highest level zombie? How many are there?" Chu Duet lowered his head and answered, "Tier 4. 1. After hearing this, the boss displayed a look of excitement and arrogance. "Good, a Tier 4. All right, go over there and put on the shackles." Suddenly, Chu Duet turned his head in surprise, seeing a thin man in loincloth, his hands tied to a post. Chu Duet exclaimed, "A slave." Sensing danger, Chu Duet jumped up, intending to escape. He ran for a while and looked back. Instantly, a wall of fire appeared, blocking his escape route. The boss leaned forward, sneering, his fingers ablaze. He hissed, trying to run. Chu Duet was terrified. The boss declared pompously, "Those of us with high-level mutant abilities are the new humans chosen by the gods, and the weak, like you, should become our slaves." The flashback ended. Chu Duet thought, this is it. The green light fell here yesterday. He stood before a desolate forest landscape and pondered, perhaps everything here is related to the high-level mutant. As he walked, he speculated, among the high-level mutants, there are many scum. They're even more dangerous than zombies. I must quickly understand the situation. Suddenly, he noticed something. Chu Duet stood before a deep crater. This is a meteor crater. A green flame flickered at the center of the pit. His footsteps seemed drawn closer. He looked down and saw a crystal emitting a powerful white light. It seems this crater was created by this thing. He approached the crystal, wondering, what's happening? Why do I have this urge to consume it? A voice rang out, pushing him away from the stone. Get away. Instantly sensing danger, he used his red energy to teleport out of the crater. His legs buckled. His eyes flashed with alertness. Who's there? The smoke dissipated, revealing a dark figure next to the crystal. He scoffed. Immediately, a blond man with a scar on his face appeared behind Chu Duet. He grinned. So, you're the survivor here. Quite cautious, too. Seems you have potential worth exploiting. He placed a hand on Chu Duet's shoulder, smiling insincerely. Chu Duet calmly replied, pulling his hand away, I'm asking one last time. Who are you? Hearing that, he let go. All right, I'll tell you. He introduced himself. I am Gao Xiao Bei, a Tier 3 mutant. As soon as Xiao Bei finished speaking, Chu Duet threw a punch right at his face. Just as his fist reached Xiao Bei's face, he dodged and retreated, leaving only an afterimage. Xiao Bei turned his head and chuckled condescendingly. Can't even handle a little provocation, kid. I was just joking. Don't take it so seriously. He extended his hand towards the crystal and said, Don't worry, I'm not here because I'm after you or your family and friends, but because of this primordial crystal. Chu Duet asked seriously, What is this? Xiao Bei feigned surprise. I thought you knew what it was. That's why you came here. But then he narrowed his eyes and said, It seemed you're just a newly awakened Tier 1 mutant newbie. A moment of silence hung between them. Xiao Bei asked, Ever played online games? This crystal is an item used for leveling up. He continued to explain, We mutants can level up by consuming zombie crystals, but those can only get you to Tier 4 at most. To reach higher tiers, he pulled out a crystal as he spoke, immediately transferring the crystal to Chu Duet's hand. You have to rely on this primordial crystal. Upon receiving it, Chu Duet questioned, This isn't a free gift, is it? What do you want me to do? Receiving Chu Duet's question, he replied, Smart. I'll need your help with something later. Before that, you should focus on raising your mutant tier. All right, I forgot to mention something. Gods exist in this world. At that moment, both the crystal and Xiao Bei disappeared. Chu Duet ponda God. A figure stood at the area with the deep pit. True to it thought to himself, are there really gods in this world? His eyes narrowed, sweat beading on his forehead. How could that be? Is that guy crazy? Suddenly, he recalled the boss's words. High-tier mutants like us are the new humans chosen by the gods. He suddenly realized something. Could it be, are there really gods in this world? If so, could this apocalypse be related to them? Suddenly, a green energy emanated from beneath his feet. It radiated outwards, surprising Chu Do-It. He said that's... As the energy weakened slightly, a crystal appeared at its center. Seeing this, Chu Do-It thought, did this just develop from the core? Once the crystal fully absorbed the energy, it flew straight towards Chu Do-It, instantly entering his body. He widened his eyes and yelled. At that moment, everything around Chu Do-It was pulled in with him. Scene change. Suddenly, two voices called out from somewhere, "Brother, where are you?" "Guzi." It turned out to be Chu-On and Chu-Shu. Chu-On frowned, placing a hand on his forehead and asking, "And where did this annoying fog come from? I can't even see. How am I supposed to find second brother?" Chu-Shu, observing the twilight-like surroundings, wondered, strange, the sky was clear today, and the sun is blazing at noon. Why is this fog suddenly appearing? Chu-On, with her weapon resting on one shoulder, smirked provocatively. Who cares? Once we find second brother, I'll definitely give him a good beating. Suddenly, Chu-On spotted a figure in the fog. She grinned. She strode forward and swung her staff. "Found you. Take this." As the shadowy figure became clearer, it revealed itself to be a zombie, glaring angrily at Chu-On. She gasped, dropping her weapon, her face pale. "Stay back." Suddenly, a root enveloped in green energy appeared, constricting the zombie. It was Chu-On's ability. Her eyes controlled the surrounding roots. Chu-Shu suddenly placed a hand on Chu-On. He whispered, close to tears, "Don't make a sound." A dark figure, surrounded by green energy, approached them. Chu-On asked anxiously, "Big brother, that wouldn't be a ghost, would it?" Chu-Shu replied, "Don't be ridiculous. How could there be ghosts in this world?" The dark figure drew closer. Chu-On, panicked and on the verge of tears, cried, "It's coming. We've been discovered by a ghost." Chu-Shu, with a weary expression, responded, "It's probably a natural phenomenon. Don't scare yourself." As the figure approached, it vanished. Chu-An-Shai, see, it was definitely a ghost. Chu-Shu was lost in thought. He suddenly realized something. A pillar of green light erupted before them. Chu-On shielded her face and exclaimed in alarm, "Big brother, what's happening? Could it be an immortal ascending?" Chu-Shu's eyes flashed red. "Read fewer novels. Have faith in science." Chu-Shu said, "I'm going to take a look. You go back." Chu-On protested, "I don't want to." He raised his voice. "Obey." Chu-On shouted, "Big brother." Chu-On, sweating, felt her eyes turn green. Roots began to sprout. Sitting atop the roots, she yelled, wait up," and sped after Chu-Shu. Chu-Shu looked back to see her kneeling beside him, surrounded by green energy. He scolded, "I told you it was dangerous. Why did you follow me?" Chu-On replied, "It's because it's dangerous that I came. Two heads are better than one." She suddenly yelled, "Look." A sphere radiating energy and emitting a youthful glow appeared. Inside was Chu Do-It. Chu-Shu cried out, "Chu-Zi, don't panic. I'm coming." He readied his fist, which glowed red with energy. He thought to himself, "What is this? It's soft, yet I can't break it." Suddenly, the green crystal shattered. Chu Do-It's left eye snapped open. He radiated a powerful green energy. He stared intently at Chu Do-It's house. Chu Do-It, resting at home after releasing the surge of energy, opened his eyes in surprise. Chu-On sat beside him, anxiously asking about his condition. "Second brother, you're finally awake." Other voices filled the room. Chu Do-It's older brother sighed in relief. "That's great. You were unconscious for a whole day. You almost scared us to death." Chu Do-It's mother scolded, "Your wounds haven't even healed, and you went out alone without even taking a walkie-talkie. What were you thinking?" Chu Do-It's father chuckled and replied, "Calm down. Isn't everything all right now?" Chu Do-It asked, puzzled, "What happened?" Chu-On replied with a weary expression, "I was about to ask you the same thing. You were surrounded by a sphere of green light, and then it just shattered." He tilted his head and asked, "What?" A status screen for Chu-On appeared before Chu Do-It's eyes. Chu-On, female, 16 years old, ability, growth control, stage 1. Upgrade requires 2 tier 2 zombie core crystals. High-level upgrade, stage 5, 19% chance. Materials required for upgrade, 9 primal core crystals. Just then, Chu-On asked, "Second brother, why did you go there yesterday? What happened?" He wondered, what is this? he thought as he pointed at Chu-on's status screen. Chu-on's character information. Why can I see this? Meanwhile, Chu-on followed Chu-duet's gesture with her eyes. There was also information on other people. Ta Fuang, female, 52 years old, ability, light purification, stage 1. Upgrade requires 3 tier 2 zombie core crystals. High-level upgrade, stage 5, 0.3% chance. Materials required for upgrade, 9 primal core crystals. Chu-shu, male, 28 years old, ability, blood manipulation, stage 1. Upgrade requires 2 tier 2 zombie core crystals. High-level upgrade, stage 5, 12% chance. Materials required for upgrade, 9 primal core crystals. Chu-duet thought to himself, based on this information, only primal crystals can upgrade abilities to a high level. But the success rate is so low, and I don't know how to increase it yet. Also, if the upgrade fails, I don't know what the consequences will be. Even if I have a primal crystal now, I can't use it carelessly. The image of a sparkling core crystal appeared in his mind. He narrowed his eyes, lost in thought. I don't have much time left. Before those bastards arrive, I have to become stronger. A loud voice suddenly snapped him back to reality. Brad, wake up. He asked with a weary expression. Dad, what are you doing? His father asked, concerned. You were just spacing out. What were you thinking about? In that instant, Chu-duet's father's information appeared. Chu Jianhao, male, 51 years old, ability, magnification, unawakened. Awakening chance, 4%. Influence rate on other abilities, 100%. Awakening requires Tier 1 Zombie Core Crystal. High-level upgrade, Stage 5, 70% chance. Materials required for upgrade, 9 Primal Core Crystals. All right, I'm fine. Don't worry anymore. He got out of bed, thinking, I can even see what kind of ability someone will awaken. It's like I've been hacked. Seeing him rubbing his head and preparing to go somewhere, Chu-on inquired, where are you going again? He replied, nowhere. I've been lying down all day. I'm just going out for some fresh air. As he left, silence fell over the room. Chu-on said, disappointed, that's so cold. We were worried about him. Chu-duet's older brother seemed to understand something and reassured her. Chu-duet seems to have something on his mind. Let's not bother him. Just in time, I just finished making some food. Come and eat some. Chu-duet replies respectfully, thank you. I'm actually quite hungry. She giggles. On the balcony, Chu-shu leans on the railing and says with a smile, that little rascal Chu-duet is quite something. I don't know when he managed to win over Bing Bing. Chu-on rests her chin in her hand and says playfully, you just noticed. Ever since he and Bing Bing stayed up late that night, they've gotten closer. From the left, Chu Jianhao, Chu-duet's father, pats Chu-shu's shoulder and teases, you should hurry up too. Chu-duet already has someone. You're the older brother, and you're still single. Juan avet isatili. All these years, we've only seen you bring your friends home, but never a sister-in-law. Scene changed. Chu-duet has finished eating the food Bing Bing made. I'm full. He asks Bing Bing, by the way, where's Lin Xiang now? Can you still sense him? Bing Bing answers with a melancholic expression, no, he's not within the range of my detection ability. Chu-shu went looking for him before, but couldn't find him either. Chu-duet frowns, blaming himself. It's my fault. In a past life, he was just a minor character who died in the zombie tide, so I didn't pay much attention to him. I didn't expect him to become such a big threat now. Seeing Chu-duet's expression, she looks at him with concern. She asks, why have you been frowning so much lately? It's not like you, she says proudly. Before, when the zombies appeared, everyone was panicking, but you were so calm, helping everyone through one crisis after another. At that time, I felt that no matter what happened, you could handle it easily, giving everyone a special sense of security. She reminisces about Chu-duet's past battles as she describes him. She adds, but after all, there's a limit to what one person can do. You can't always carry all the burden on your shoulders. Chu-duet listens attentively. Bing Bing smiles brightly and says, so, if there's really something you can't handle, you can tell me in the family. After all, we're family. He asks thoughtfully, family. The atmosphere suddenly becomes awkward. Bing Bing blushes and looks down, replying, no, you can consider me as family. No, that's not right either. Family is you and me. He smiles and replies, I know. He suddenly shouts, hey, you guys hiding by the window. I have something to discuss with everyone. Chu-shu, Chu-on, and Chu Jianhao exchange glances and think. Scene change. A car, carrying Chu-duet's family, is driving down a road through the forest. Chu-shu understands. So, abilities can be upgraded by consuming more primal crystals. So you can become even stronger, right? Chu-on asks in surprise, did you meet someone on the mountain who could teleport? And they were tier 3. Bing Bing breathes a sigh of relief. That's great. That means we're not the only only survivors. Chu Duet remained silent. Ta Fuang says with a heavy heart, in my opinion, this isn't necessarily good news. She confided that in peaceful times, people could perhaps coexist amicably. But in this apocalypse, human nature couldn't withstand any trials. For survival, sometimes people are no different from zombies. And when people lose their minds, they become far more dangerous than zombies. She affirmed this while looking out the window. Chu Duet's voice became serious. Therefore, we must unite. He looked behind him, informing everyone, upgrade abilities, gather weapons and supplies, and then protect our family. Jian Hao laughed as he drove, replying, Duet is absolutely right. He declared, if anyone dares to provoke us, we'll make sure they can't handle the consequences. Arriving at their destination, Chu Duet's family stopped on a road. Jian Hao looked into the distance and asked Chu Duet, is that the fishery you mentioned? Are there really explosives inside? He affirmed, if I'm not mistaken, there are not only explosives over there, but also. Before he could finish, an explosion occurred. He looked towards the source of the explosion in surprise. What? As a gate collapsed, a group of heavily armed people entered. A group fully equipped in tactical gear advanced through the gate. Chu An was using her ability to see the enemies from afar. She placed a hand on her forehead, frowning. There are so many of them. Chu Duet's brother asked, where did these people come from? Why are they targeting this fishery? Chu Duet speculated, they're probably Lin Xiang's gang, smuggling weapons and ammunition. Chu An and Chu Shu exclaimed in alarm. Huh? Chu Duet recalled, seriously, last time I left the fishery, I locked the main gate and took the key with me to prevent others from discovering the supplies inside. But they didn't hesitate to use explosives to break the door, which proves they knew there were a lot of explosives in the fishery. Only an insider could know this. Chu An puffed out her cheeks in annoyance. So many supplies, and someone else got there first. Chu Duet replied, not necessarily. Chu An asked worriedly and suspiciously, do you want to rob them? But they all have guns. Without answering, Chu Duet turned to Xia Bingbing. He called her name, Xia Bingbing. He asked, can you sense how many zombies are below the fishery? She used her ability to estimate. At this distance, maybe. She scanned the forest area. Many red dots appeared. She confirmed there are only 52, 45 ordinary ones, and 6 with primal crystals, probably tier 3. Suddenly, she paused on one zombie. She exclaimed, wait, there's another one, completely different from the others. Bigger, stronger, and there's something black in its head. Chu Duet confirmed, a tier 3 zombie. The space below the fishery is very large, and it's filled with explosives. We can't open fire down there. We're not sure we can handle all the zombies, let alone a tier 3 zombie. He said, looking down at the armed group. He spoke cunningly. We can wait until they fight the zombies, and then quietly watch. Exactly. We can reap the benefits. Suddenly, Chu Shu sensed something. Shu, it seems like someone is coming. Chu Duet turned around in surprise. From a distance, a figure approached, clearly an armed man carrying a gun. He loaded it, intending to fire at Chu Duet's group. Chu Duet shouted a warning, telling everyone to get down. A volley of shots rang out, but luckily, the car shielded Chu Duet and Chu Shu. Chu Duet proposed a plan to Chu Shu, suggesting they split up. Chu Shu replied, okay. Chu Shu activated a red energy, charged towards the armed man, and yelled, I'll lure him from above. You go below and intercept him. Understanding the plan, Chu Duet acted, saying understood. The soldiers seemed to realize something. Chu Shu used his red energy to quickly move towards him. The soldier jumped over the railing, attempting to escape. Before long, Chu Duet, lying in wait from afar, ran closer. He slammed the soldier's head down. In an instant, the soldier's weapon was knocked away, and his body, thrown off balance, spun around. He looked back and saw the soldier wasn't moving. He approached and said, done. Let's bring him back for questioning first. Suddenly, Chu Shu yelled, do it, be careful. A large explosion occurred. A large hole was blown into the tree trunk. The path was destroyed. Along with it was the arm of the unfortunate Special Forces soldier. Chu Duet, taking cover behind the tree, wondered, this is... Chu Shu warned Chu Duet, there's an Esper. As soon as he finished speaking, a series of other projectiles flew straight towards the tree where Chu Duet was hiding. Chu Duet dodged, but unfortunately, one projectile grazed his arm. Chu, standing near Chu Do-it, asked, "Do it, are you all right?" He chuckled lightly and replied, "Just a scratch." "Did you see where the attack came from?" Chu, sweating, replied, "From different directions simultaneously. There's no way to pinpoint the exact location. But judging by the sound, the projectiles are being fired from very far away." Chu Do-it wondered, "Fired?" Chu confirmed, "Right, just like a pinball machine, only the firing mechanism has become the trees here, and we're the bonus holes." The image of a pinball machine appeared in Chu's mind. Not giving the enemy time to plan, more projectiles flew towards them. Chu yelled, "Careful, here they come again." Chu Do-it's eyes turned red. He seriously assessed the situation, thinking, as expected, hiding won't work. This bastard can definitely see us. But the projectiles are being fired from very far away. This is a bit contradictory. To be able to grasp our position within this forest, that person must be nearby. Suddenly realizing something, his eyes flashed red, unless there's another Esper. The image of an ugly monster appeared. In a forested area, Chu Do-it radiated red energy. He stepped on a corpse. Looking closer, it was the corpse of a zombie. He looked down, thinking. Chu, hiding behind a tree, said, "The projectile attacks seem to have stopped." Chu Do-it replied, "It seems my guess was correct. The enemy must have used this zombie to track us." He further speculated, "It's highly likely there are two of them, possibly more." Chu asked in surprise, "Two Espers?" Just then, Chuan shouted, "Big brother, second brother, get in the car. There's movement at the fishing grounds. It looks like they've spotted us." Chu and Chu Do-it turned their heads in surprise. Chu Do-it's family discussed, "We don't know the enemy's deployment. It's too risky for us to be reckless. Let's go back and discuss countermeasures first." Scene change in a forest. A blond young man tossed a marble and wondered what's going on. Why did everyone run away? He yelled, "Strive for the critical moment. Don't lose focus, okay? We were having fun. Why did you interrupt my vision?" From afar, a pink-haired man applying lipstick while rotating a crystal ball said, "Didn't you see the final kick? Besides, those two handsome guys are quite skilled. They don't seem like ordinary people." The image revealed a man with a mustache and full lips sighing in response. He asked, "Hey, why did you kill the boss's men? How are we going to explain this to him later?" The blond man replied, "If they were caught, of course, they had to be killed. Just say those two brats did it. Isn't that enough? Besides, the mission was to clear out the zombies at the fishing grounds. It's normal for some ordinary people to die." Suddenly, a voice called out, and a bald man approached from afar. "Stop joking around." The pink-haired and blonde men looked towards him in surprise. The scene showed an older man in a somewhat formal shirt. He replied, "The freezer door is open. Let's get to work." Scene change at Chu Do-it's house. Jianhao said seriously, "I just checked. No one is following us." Chu Do-it's brother also replied, "The tire tracks have been taken care of." Chuan thought anxiously, "Those guys actually shot at us. Will they find us?" Chu Do-it put his hand on the table, deep in thought. He said, "For now, probably not. Their primary target is still the goods at the fishing grounds. Until then, they don't need to cause more trouble for themselves. But once they have full control of the fishing grounds, they will definitely come looking for us." His face was serious, with a hint of darkness. The whole family's faces were filled with worry. Chuan tried to reassure everyone. "Besides, there's no need to be afraid." Second brother said there are tier 3 zombies in the fishing grounds, and the ground is full of explosives, so they can't use guns. They won't be able to take it that quickly. Maybe they'll even be killed by the zombies, she said with a slightly sad smile. Chu spoke up. "Didn't you just say there's an Esper among them? Even without guns, they can still take down zombies. So what do we do now?" Chuan's voice was filled with anxiety. Ta Fuang crossed her arms and said angrily, "If they really dare to come and kill us, then we can only fight to the death." Jianhao replied confidently, "That's right. Anyone who dares to touch my family will face the consequences." Just then, Jianhao made a suggestion and smiled brightly. "Brother, help Dad make some explosives later and give those guys a one-way trip." Chuan immediately agreed. "Yes, sir." Chu Do-it continued to be lost in thought. "In my past life, it took 2 months before anyone found Tan Sun Village. This time, it only took a week. Judging by their equipment and actions, they must be specially trained and armed. Their firepower far surpasses ours. Not to mention the gunpowder at the fishing grounds. And there are also many tier 2 zombies there, made even more difficult to deal with because they consume crystals." The image of fully armed men appears. Chu Do-it feels uneasy, thinking that waiting any longer is basically a dead end, but rashly attacking carries uncontrollable risks. What if However, a hand reached out and gripped Chu Duet's tightly. Chuan smiled reassuringly and said, "It's okay. You have to trust our family." Suddenly, a voice came from the walkie-talkie. "Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? This is Huang Tao." Chu Duet replied, "This is Chu Duet. What's up?" The other end replied, "Chu Duet, thank goodness. We're at the hardware store. Something's happening here." A young man holding a walkie-talkie said, "We found a survivor here. Look," followed by the image of a man lying on his side on the road. Chu Duet yelled, "What? Tie him up first." The other end asked, confused, why? Chu Duet's expression was serious and resolute. "Don't ask questions. Just do as I say." He immediately rushed out of the house and shouted, "I'm going out. Everyone stay alert." As he went out the gate, he thought to himself, is he their scout? It's clear they've discovered us. His eyes flashed red. I can't let him get back alive. Scene change. A girl holding a first aid kit greeted him. "Chu Duet, you're here. We went to the hospital early this morning. We found a lot of medicine." Before she could finish, he brushed past her, interrupting, "Good work." Her face showed displeasure. Arriving at the meeting point, Chu Duet asked, "Where is he?" In front of Chu Duet was a man, sitting with his head bowed and his hands tied. Next to him, the man with the weapon replied, "Here." We tied him up tight. As Chu Duet approached, he thought, "Strange. He doesn't seem to be one of them." He grabbed the man's head. He realized with alarm, this is Gao Xiaobei. Suddenly, Gao Xiaobei's half-closed eyes snapped open. He cried out in alarm. In an instant, Gao Xiaobei's body was gone. Realizing what had happened, Chu Duet yelled, trying to calm the situation. However, Gao Xiaobei had grabbed a woman. He threatened, "Stay back. We've met before. Don't come any closer. If you move, I'll kill her." The entire residential area was quiet in the early morning sun. Huang Tao looked panicked, raising his hands in a pleading gesture. "Calm down. We don't mean any harm." Xiaobei kept a tight grip on the hostage, his hands squeezing, his eyes wary. He shouted angrily, "Stop. I know you want to kill me. Don't come any closer." Chu Duet looked at him coldly, unmoved. "Then do it." Fear flickered across Xiaobei's face, but he tried to remain calm. You think I wouldn't dare?" Chu Duet approached, his voice low and menacing. "Whether you dare or not, I don't know. But if you really wanted to do it, you would have already. And if we wanted to kill you, we would have done a long time ago." Xiaobei stood in the corner of the cold warehouse, holding the hostage tightly, stammering. "Then, why did you lock me up?" Chu Duet calmly questioned him, his gaze steady but cold. "What would you do if a stranger suddenly ran into your house?" He hesitated, stammering. "So, you're not bad people." Chu Duet just smiled faintly, his eyes full of meaning as he looked toward him. "You guess." Gao Xiaobei released the woman, then uttered a strange request. "I want to eat beef noodles." Not long after, he was actually sitting down, enjoying a bowl of hot, delicious beef noodles. All three of them looked at him, their faces expressions of speechless disbelief. Chuan, bored, turned to Chu Duet and said, "Chu Duet, this is the guy you met behind the mountain that day, right?" "Right?" Chu Duet glanced at him and replied. Chuan stared at Gao Xiaobei, unable to hide her suspicion. It's him. He doesn't look like anything more than a scruffy uncle who only knows how to eat. Just as she finished speaking, he said, "Big brother, can I have another bowl?" Hearing this, Chuan turned to look at him with a puzzled expression. "Big brother." At the same time, Chu Duet's eyes flickered, his ability quietly activated. Strangely, the feeling Gao Xiaobei gave off now was completely different from the time they met behind the mountain. Moreover, he didn't seem to remember him at all. Gao Xiaobei happily accepted more food, his face beaming, thanking them profusely. Thank you so much." Chu Duet maintained his cold gaze, suspicion swirling in his mind, and his ability is only level 1. But before, he clearly said he was level 3. Is he lying to me, pretending not to know me? Or has he really lost his memory? The morning light gently shone down on the simple house. After finally eating his fill, Gao Xiaobei put his bowl down on the table, sighing, I'm full. I'm finally alive." He clasped his hands and bowed his head, his voice earnest and full of emotion. "I'm truly grateful. If I hadn't met you all, I would have starved to death on the road." Chu Duet narrowed his eyes slightly, his voice emotionless. "No need for thanks. Tell me." Gao Xiaobei was startled, his head full of question marks, asking blankly, "Tell you what?" Chu Duet leaned back against the sofa, hands in his pockets, and asked, "Why did you come to our village?" He stammered that. "It's a little hard to explain. You might not believe it, but..." Purple light emanated from his hand, his demeanor suddenly changing. His face became mysterious, his eyes sharp. "I escaped here by teleporting." Chu Duet tilted his head slightly, his eyes gleaming with scrutiny. "Escaped. Ran into zombies. Gao Xiaobei broke out in a sweat, a bitter smile on his face, clearly panicked. Yes, I was chased by them to the outskirts of the city. In that critical moment, I closed my eyes and ended up here. He added, isn't that a normal reaction? Aren't you even a little suspicious that I said I teleported? Chu Duet frowned slightly and continued to ask, so you're from the city? Gao Xiaobei gave a forced laugh, hesitantly replying, yes. Hearing this, Chuan stroked her chin thoughtfully and said, what's the situation in the city now? Chuan quickly added, has the military been mobilized? Have the zombies been eliminated? Gao Xiaobei lowered his head, his eyes darkening that. He recalled the situation that day, his voice heavy. The situation in the city was dire. The first day the zombies appeared, the streets were in chaos. The scene was chaotic. Many people were bitten to death by zombies, and many others were either trampled to death by the crowd or hit by cars. At that time, I found a dumpster and hid inside. The sounds of crying and screaming echoed in my ears. I kept comforting myself, thinking that as long as I waited until tomorrow, someone would come to rescue me and I would be safe. On the second day, there was no rescue. The entire city was occupied by zombies. Some people stubbornly held onto hope in their despair. Others, unable to accept it, chose to commit suicide. Chu Duet listened, then coldly interrupted. No need to go into so much detail. Get to the point. Gao Xiaobei replied, okay. His eyes dropped, recalling that desperate time. His voice hoarse. At that time, I couldn't hold on any longer. Just as I was thinking about ending it, he took his phone out of his pocket and held it out to Chu Duet. The message read, those who are still dying, do you want to survive this apocalyptic divine punishment? Then go hunt zombies, eat the crystal cores, and become the chosen ones of the gods. Gao Xiaobei said, I received this message. Chu Duet frowned at the message on the screen, his heart full of doubt. The chosen ones of the gods. The new humans. Did they send this message? But this was only the second day. In my previous life, it wasn't until more than a month after the zombie outbreak that people with abilities appeared. They couldn't have known about the crystal cores before the emergence of those with abilities. Then go hunt zombies, eat the crystal cores, and become the chosen ones of the gods. Wait, could it be? Is there someone among them who is a reborn person like me? Chuan, standing to the side with her arms crossed, pondered, then asked, so people in the city also knew about the crystal cores. Chuan, beside them, just silently watched him. Gao Xiaobei put his phone away, his eyes wary, then exclaimed in surprise, you've seen crystal cores before. Chuan tilted her chin up with a cold smile. Not just seen them. The three of us have eaten them. The answer stunned Gao Xiaobei, his jaw dropping. You've all eaten them. Could it be that you've all awakened your abilities? She smirked, of course. Gao Xiaobei pondered miserably. You're all so lucky. If only the people on my team were as lucky as you. Chuan looked at him quizzically, team. Gao Xiaobei looked down at the ground, recounting the events with pain. On the third day, to survive, I joined a team of hundreds of people. Besides gathering supplies, we often hunted zombies. After about 2 days, though we found 5 crystal cores. Then, the 5 leaders in the group decided to try eating the crystal cores first. Afterward, only the team leader successfully awakened his ability. The other 4 turned into monsters and died under the team leader's blade. He took a deep breath, his face grim, and continued. On the 4th day, the team leader led us to fight another team for supplies. The result was that our team leader and their ability user fought, which led to a war between the teams. As the fighting intensified, more people in our group needed to awaken their abilities, and many others were forced to eat crystal cores. Many people were turned into mutants and killed. The rest fell into endless fighting. Gradually, everyone became more and more bloodthirsty, more and more crazed. Later, I couldn't stand it anymore, so I escaped, and then I was chased by a whole horde of zombies. Fortunately, in the end, my ability awakened, which saved my life. Chu Duet was speechless after hearing this. Among the awakened, they killed each other for supplies. Chuan also whispered, after hearing this, I feel like the village is better. The city is too scary. But Gao Xiaobei didn't seem to mind, and even laughed cheerfully. That's right, it's so much better here. There's food and drink, and it's safe. He gave a bright smile and voiced his thoughts. I've decided I'm staying here from now on. Chu Duet and Chuan raised their eyebrows and reminded him, hey, we haven't agreed yet. Chu Duet wasn't in the mood for jokes and threw cold water on him. I'm afraid this place isn't as safe as you think. He frowned and spoke about the current situation. Recently, we've encountered some trouble. If you want to continue having food and drink, you'll have to help us. A peaceful scene. Mountains and forests surrounded a village. In the midst of the apocalypse, this place remained strangely tranquil. Hearing noise, Bing Bing glanced towards Chu Duet and Gao Xiao Bei. Seeing them walk out, she turned her head and asked, "You're done asking already?" Chu Duet glanced at her and replied curtly, "We'll keep him here for now. He'll probably be useful to us." Gao Xiao Bei scratched his head and laughed, taking the opportunity to introduce himself. "I'm Gao Xiao Bei. Thank you everyone for inviting me to this meal." Everyone responded in turn, introducing themselves one by one. "Hello, I'm Xiao Bing Bing, Xie Fong. My name is Chu Jian Hao. I'm a leader here." Gao Xiao Bei politely bowed his head to each person. "Yes, Sister Bing Bing, Sister Fong, Uncle Hao." Bing Bing and Chu Jian Hao gave 4 smiles and asked back, "Sister, Uncle." Chuan walked out and, seeing everyone's strange expressions, laughed and nudged Gao Xiao Bei. "What are you talking about? You're over 30 years old, and you're calling someone in their 20s sister." Hearing this, Gao Xiao Bei's face was filled with confusion. "Over 30. I'm only 18. His answer stunned the group. Chuan was the first to speak, her eyes wide with surprise. "Are you kidding? You look like this, and you're only 18. Gao Xiao Bei slumped, his voice trembling. "It's just that I look a little old. I really didn't lie to you guys." Chu Duet, having heard the whole story, spoke up to break the awkward silence. "All right, I believe you." Gao Xiao Bei sniffled and rushed to hug him. "Thank you. Before, you always had a stern face, and I thought you were a difficult person to talk to. It turns out that beneath that cold exterior lies a warm heart." Chu Duet froze, thinking to himself, "Actually, I was also shocked when I used my ability to see his age earlier." Chu Duet turned and walked away, his voice low. "All right, time is running out. Follow me." Gao Xiao Bei asked back reflexively, "Go where?" Chu Duet speculated, judging by his reaction just now, if he really did experience that hardship. Then he didn't turn back to answer him. "You'll find out later. After all, he's a master of disguise." Hearing that he was about to leave, Bing Bing hurriedly called out, "Chu Duet, wait." He stopped, tilted his head, and glanced at her, a hint of doubt in his eyes. She immediately walked quickly towards him, still clutching something tightly. She carefully handed him the object, her voice gentle. "This is something I found among the weapons I retrieved." Bing Bing looked at him shyly, smiling slightly. "It will suit you very well. I don't know if you'll like it." Chu Duet took it with both hands. When he saw the 2 engraved words, his heart skipped a beat. Town C. He smiled and turned to look at her. "This is a good blade. Thank you." Bing Bing's heart pounded as she looked at him, speechless. Before leaving, he reminded everyone, "We'll be back in an hour. Report any situation to me immediately." The weather was quite beautiful today, with blue skies and white clouds. Gao Xiao Bei followed behind him and asked, "Where are we going?" He put his hands in his pockets and answered cryptically, "Somewhere you're very familiar with." "Gao Kia bei was bewildert." "Huh." He turned his head and glanced at Gao Xiao Bei. "The place where we can find crystal cores behind the mountain." Hearing this, Gao Xiao Bei was startled. "That's so far. Are we driving?" Chu Duet calmly replied, "No, you'll teleport me there." Gao Xiao Bei scratched his head. "But I've never teleported anyone before. Is there a chance it'll be dangerous?" Chu Duet patted his shoulder reassuringly. "We'll find out." He took a deep breath and nodded. "All right, hold on tight." Then, both of them disappeared from the spot. A few minutes later, they had teleported to a desolate, ruined city. Gao Xiao Bei brought them to the roof of a tall building. But because he didn't aim correctly, he ended up suspended in midair. Just as he was about to fall, Chu Duet luckily grabbed his collar and pulled him back. Chu Duet looked around and said, "It seems we've arrived at North Village." Gao Xiao Bei, still dangling in the air, yelled, "Hey, pull me up first." Chu Duet calculated the distance. One teleport covers about 3 kilometers, but it's still quite far from behind the mountain. Then he looked down at Gao Xiao Bei hanging from the building. "Try again. Teleport us directly to behind the mountain." Gao Xiao Bei asked in a panic again. Chu Duet explained, "This is a test of your ability. Continue." Gao Kia bei Stammeret Allericht. This time, they teleported a bit further. From this position, they could see a beautiful landscape. The 2 stood on a giant ancient tree, looking into the distance. Chu Duet looked ahead and reminded Gao Xiao Bei, "Don't do anything weird, okay?" Gao Xiao Bei, sweating, replied, "I can't help it. I've never tried consecutive teleports, let alone with someone else." He turned to look at him and said, "We're almost there. Continue." Hearing this, Gao Xiao Bei sighed. "Seriously, can I rest for a bit?" Chu Duet coldly replied, "No, we're running out of time." Gao Xiao Bei couldn't help but groan. "Oh man." This time, they finally arrived at the right location. Panting, he asked to be sure, "We're finally here." Chu Duet remained calm. Yes, this is the place. He commented unhurriedly. From that test, I have a general understanding of your ability. Honestly, your teleportation ability is worse than I imagined. Gao Xiaobei gave a forced laugh. I don't understand. Huh. The most important thing during teleportation is controlling the location, but my teleportation ability can only guarantee accurate positioning within a 100-meter radius. Moreover, teleporting consumes most of my stamina, so I can't use it continuously at high speed. He rubbed the back of his neck, probing. Bad is bad, but still enough, right? Chu Duet didn't let him finish, angrily shouting enough. His eyes burning red. He turned his head and growled coldly. How long are you going to keep pretending? Gao Xiaobei's expression turned to panic. Huh? Chu Duet gripped the hilt of his sword and continued. Not long ago, we met here. I understand your strength very well. Don't pretend with me anymore. He drew his sword and began to activate his ability. What are you really doing at my house? Seeing Chu Duet's ability begin to spread and surround him, Gao Xiaobei yelled, What? When did we meet? Are you mistaken? I just want to come to your house for a free meal. I won't eat and run. I can work. In the blink of an eye, Chu Duet's ability blasted him away, sending a cloud of dust rising from where he had been standing. Fortunately, he teleported away in time, but his heart was still filled with fear. Damn it, is he serious? A panicked scream echoed through the dense forest. Chu Duet chased after him with his sword, while Gao Xiaobei ran for his life in front, shouting help. Murder! Chu Duet watched him, eyes burning red, a flicker of confusion in his heart. This guy, it doesn't seem like he's pretending. It's like he's become a different person. What exactly has changed about him? Which is the real him? The person I met before wasn't Gao Xiaobei. Exhausted from running, Gao Xiaobei also shouted enough. He turned around, his face contorted, glaring darkly at Chu Duet. Do you think I'm actually afraid of you? When it comes to fighting, I'm not afraid of anyone. Chu Duet, he suddenly rushed forward, swinging his arms like a tiger's claw, attempting a counterattack. Unfortunately, Chu Duet dodged to the side, causing him to crash to the ground, only able to yell, oh crap. His body continued to slide across the ground, kicking up dust. Chu Duet just watched him with a cold expression, speechless. Gao Xiaobei lay sprawled on the ground, his face covered in dirt, groaning out. Chu Duet walked over to him and said, Not bad. At least you weren't scared just now. You didn't use your teleportation to escape. He chuckled. Although your combat strength is a bit weak, you can at least be support. Hearing this, Gao Xiaobei finally came to his senses and stood up. You spent all day just to test my abilities. You scare me to death. I thought you really wanted to kill me. Chu Duet changed the subject, simply saying, All right, let's go back. We should focus on the main task. By now, night had fallen, and the group pushed the car deeper into the forest. Chu Duet looked up at the moon, estimating the distance. This place is about 1 kilometer from the fishing grounds. Based on what I said earlier, Chu Jianhao, Gao Xiaobei, and I will go there first. My mother and Chu An will stay here for backup. Hearing this, Gao Xiaobei turned his head, looking at him with a doubtful gaze. Do we really have to go? Those gangs aren't coming to cause trouble for us, so we don't need to cause trouble for them either. His face darkened, his voice heavy. You should understand, those gangs will do anything to fight for supplies. If you're scared, you can leave now. Gao Xiaobei retorted, It's not that I'm scared, I'm just worried about everyone. Hearing their endless bickering, Chu An was forced to step in and mediate. All right, didn't we already discuss this? This operation isn't dangerous. Gao Xiaobei didn't answer immediately, his face still dark. That's easy for you to say. The scene shifts back to the afternoon after they returned home, when Chu Duet told his father about his plan. As soon as Chu Jianhao heard it, he flew into a rage. What? You want to raid the fishing grounds tonight? Are you crazy? Chu Duet calmly replied, This time, it's not about fighting them head-on, it's about stealing. Chu Jianhao Faowen, stealing. He stood up, drew his knife, and wiped it clean. Right? We just need to get the supplies and explosives one step ahead of them. Without enough supplies, they won't be in a hurry to attack us. With enough explosives, we won't be afraid even if they attack. Hearing his son say this, he laughed heartily. Then I'll put on a show for them. Chu An interjected, But that place is heavily guarded. How are you going to get in? Even if you do get in, how are you going to get the stuff out? Chu Duet replied, Of course I know. He glanced at Chu An and said, You obviously can't do it alone, but with Gao Xiaobei's teleportation, it's possible. Hearing his name mentioned, Gao Xiaobei felt a little uneasy. Still eating his noodles, he choked, and sprayed them out. I can't do it. What if we run into those guys? Chu Do It reassured him. Don't worry. Chew on, and I will protect you. If we really encounter danger, we can teleport to escape. Please, our whole family is counting on you. Gao Xiao Bei held his face in thought. If only I hadn't agreed so readily at the beginning. I thought I could live a peaceful life. The scene shifts again to the forest. Bing Bing walks over to Chu Do It with a walkie-talkie, hands it to him, and says, "Take this to stay in contact." Chu Do It took the walkie-talkie and asked her, "Can we see the situation at the fishing ground from here?" She activated her ability and replied, "I'll try." She seemed to have discovered something in the distance. She leaned over and informed him, "There are far fewer than before. Now there's only one Tier 3 and a few Tier 2. Chu Do It continued to ask, "That gang has already started to move. We have to seize the opportunity." Then he turned to look at his mother, hesitated for a moment, and softly asked, "Mom, Xia Bing Bing, she?" "Don't worry, I'll protect Bing Bing," she assured him. She gave a thumbs up and smiled in agreement. "You can go ahead and do what you need to do." Chu Do It nodded after hearing this and began to activate his ability. He jumped out of the vehicle, his voice husky. "Let's go." Several soldiers with guns were guarding the warehouse entrance. Chu hid behind a tree and whispered, "There are a lot fewer people than last time." "Yes, their main force must be underground." Chu Do It nodded and picked up the walkie-talkie. "Bing Bing, report the location of the zombies in the fishing grounds." On the other end of the line, Bing Bing picked up the signal and quickly reported the news to Chu Do It. "Okay. The Tier 3 zombie is immobile in the southeast corner. A few Tier 2 zombies are currently gathered in the central area, and there are 2 fewer than before." Chu Do It listened and replied with a smile, "Very good. They fought with the Tier 2 zombies. Now, underground towards the northwest corner should be safe." After turning off the walkie-talkie, he approached Chuan and lightly punched him in the chest. "Chuan, Gao Xiao Bei, and I will scout ahead." "Wait here." Chuan nodded. "All right, be careful." Then Chu Do It went closer to Gao Xiao Bei, pointing forward. "See that corner of the warehouse? It's about 10 meters away. Take me there." Gao Xiao Bei started activating his ability, softly reminding him, "Okay, hold on tight." Then the two disappeared together. Inside the warehouse, the air was so silent that even breathing could be heard. Gao Xiao Bei teleported both of them onto a large crate at the back of the warehouse. Before they could steady themselves, Chu Do It quickly covered Gao Xiao Bei's mouth. He also immediately raised his hand, signaling should be quiet. Gao Xiao Bei was startled and quickly covered his mouth with both hands. Chu Do It stealthily moved forward to investigate. "Very good. They haven't reached here yet." Gao Xiao Bei knelt in place, whispering, wait a minute. This isn't explosives, it's guns." That night, in a forest, Chuan stood behind a tree, worried. They've been gone so long. Has something happened? Suddenly, a spatial portal appeared right next to him. He sensed it and turned, and Chu Do It immediately appeared, sitting and smiling on a crate, accompanied by Gao Xiao Bei. "Look what we brought back." Chuan opened the crate and was surprised. "Guns." Chu Do It added, "Not just guns, ammunition, first aid supplies, rations, everything. There's enough equipment in the warehouse to outfit a whole squad." A suggestive smirk played on his lips. Immediately afterward, Chu Do It turned back to Gao Xiao Bei and suggested, "Let's go again. We need to clear it out before they find that warehouse." Suddenly, Chuan spoke up. "Let me go with you this time, okay?" Gao Xiao Bei agreed to the request. "All right, let me try." The scene changed to a room somewhere. The door was damaged from colliding with a large object. Looking from inside, it turned out to be a zombie with a shattered skull. A blond man casually smoked a cigarette, holding a few marbles in his hand, sarcastically saying, "Job done." Just as he let his guard down, a zombie attacked the blonde man from behind. That zombie was immediately taken down by a pink-haired man. "Dangerous." The pink-haired man said seriously, "Just turning on the power attracted this many zombies, and they're Tier 2. Another zombie met a similar fate, its skull crushed. This action was performed by a bald man in a white shirt. He said, "Saves us the trouble of searching for them one by one." The blonde and pink-haired men chuckled. "Too bad these Tier 2s aren't much of a challenge. If only there was a Tier 3 zombie. That would be interesting. I haven't tried controlling a Tier 3 yet." The bald man, with a cryptic expression, put some kind of device to his ear and said gravely, "If you actually encountered one, there's only one outcome for you two: death." The blonde and pink-haired men's faces suddenly darkened, sweat beading on their foreheads. Immediately, a blood-curdling scream attracted the attention of the three men. A man lay on the floor, desperately pleading, I'm bitten. It hurts." Mid-sentence, the infected man's eyes flashed red, cracks appearing on his face. "Please," he begged, "help me. Save me." The blonde man sitting in front of him laughed. "Stop yelling. We're obviously going to leave you to die." He pulled out a purple crystal. "Here, eat this," he said with a malicious grin. "If you're lucky, you'll become one of us." The infected man didn't respond. His eyes turned completely red. The blonde man's face darkened. "Well, too scared. Do you really want to turn into a zombie? Don't hesitate. Become one of the chosen." Suddenly, a burst of energy shot out from behind the blonde man, surprising him. The energy slammed into the zombie's head. A scarred man holding a gun stood there, aiming at the blonde man. "Get out of here, you freak." Energy flared around the blonde man, his red eyes glowing. "Let's go," he said. The scar man calmly replied, "Don't make me say it again. Get out of here, you mutated freak." "Damn it, you think I won't kill you?" A bald man in a shirt suddenly spoke up. "Stop," he warned. "This collaboration is at the behest of someone higher up. I don't want any more trouble." He turned to the blonde man, whose expression had shifted. "Do you know the best part about being a teacher?" He smiled slyly. "It's being able to prune away unwanted branches." He looked ahead, hands clasped behind his back. "This whole place reeks of sulfur. If you fire that gun and something happens, you'll be explaining yourself to the higher-ups." The scar man frowned. "Change of plans," he said. "No one fires without my direct order." His soldiers responded in unison. "Yes, Captain." The scene changed to a warehouse filled with crates and 3 figures. Chu Duet, Chu On, and Gao Xiaobei. Chu Duet assessed the situation. This should be enough to fully equip everyone back home. Chu On agreed. "I can't believe it went this smoothly." Chu Duet looked at Gao Xiaobei. "How are you holding up, Gao Xiaobei?" Gao Xiaobei answered breathlessly. "I'm all right. Just a little drained from teleporting so many crates at once." Chu On suggested, "Maybe we should rest before we move the rest." Chu Duet shook his head. "I don't think it's a good idea. Those tier 2 zombies won't hold out much longer. There's still some medicine left. Let's teleport everything in one go." "Can you manage, Gao Xiaobei?" "Yeah, no problem," Gao Xiaobei replied. A flash of light engulfed them, teleporting them to another warehouse. "Chu On, you go over there," Chu Duet instructed. "Once we're done teleporting, we'll burn this place down." Chu On replied, "Sounds good." Suddenly, Gao Xiaobei collapsed. Chu Duet and Chu On rushed to his side. "What happened?" Chu On asked. "Is he exhausted?" "He probably overused his ability. His blood sugar must be low," Chu Duet said. "Help me prop him up against something." "I'll go find some sugar." Chu On replied, "Okay." Outside, the 3 men approached a room marked infirmary. "We're here." Chu Duet and Chu On noticed the 3 men. They quickly ducked behind some crates, staying hidden. Chu Duet looked towards the bald man. The blonde man chuckled slyly. "So much stuff here. No wonder you guys risked coming here. So many supplies, enough for a squad to use for months." The bald man spoke up. "According to the agreement, this food and medicine belong to us." The scarred man smirked. "Of course, just as we agreed." Suddenly, the bald man was taken by surprise as the scarred man grinned maliciously beside him. The one who shot the bald man was one of the scarred man's companions. Learning of what had just happened, the blonde man yelled angrily, "Damn it, who was that?" Immediately, the blonde man was subdued by 2 of the scarred man's underlings. The pink-haired man was unlucky enough to take a bullet to the stomach. The scar man approached. He sneered, looking at the blonde man's pathetic and comical state. He laughed derisively and pointed his gun at the blonde man. "You didn't really think we'd hand over the supplies to you, did you? You just got lucky with a few mixed-breed espers. If you still want equal footing with us, then let's talk about dividing the spoils. Want benefits? You need power. Do you have that?" Hearing this, the blonde man's face darkened. The blonde man laughed loudly. The scarred man, not understanding, asked, "What are you laughing at?" A voice echoed from somewhere. "In the apocalypse, that kind of power is long gone. Now, this world has only one rule." Suddenly, the bald man reappeared from behind, saying, "Survival of the fittest," startling the scarred man. He spun around, firing multiple shots. Despite the barrage, his bullets seemed ineffective. Instead, they passed right through him. The scar man exclaimed in fear, "Monster! Monster!" He stumbled back, losing his balance, and ordered, "Kill him. Everyone, open fire. Kill him." Before he could finish, bullets from out of nowhere pierced the heads of the scarred man squad. It turned out to be a mutated individual standing in the distance, taking aim. He smiled dangerously. Seeing this, Chu Duet chuckled and muttered to himself, just like dogs fighting each other. Beside him, Chu On was hiding behind shelf. He asked, "How's Gao Xiaobei?" Chu Duet looked over and saw Gao Xiaobei unresponsive. He replied, "Not good. He's still unconscious." Chu Duet thought seriously, "We can't leave yet. I just hope both sides suffer heavy losses. Then I have to find an opportunity to take them out." Scene change. A loud, pleading voice came from the scarred man. "Don't come any closer. I order you, don't come any closer." He was surrounded by the bodies of his comrades. He fearfully threatened, "I have a lot of powerful connections. You wouldn't dare kill me." The bald man calmly replied, "Powerful connections. Too bad. They're probably zombies by now." He continued to explain, "When they arrived at the fishing grounds, assassins from our team were already lying in wait, just like with you. We never intended to cooperate from the beginning. One world can't accommodate two eras." Just then, a bullet appeared right behind the bald man's finger. "And your era is over." As he finished this sentence, the scarred man was given his ticket to oblivion. Having finished him off, he asked, "Blockhead, there's still a few people outside the fishing grounds. I'll leave them to you." A voice replied, seriously. Blockhead grimaced, replying, "I'm still not used to this new swapped body." The blonde man, with a bored expression, scoffed, "Getting lazy again, are you? It's not like it's your first time body swapping." Realizing this, Blockhead waved his hand as he walked away. All right, I'm going, aren't I?" The blonde man looked over the pile of goods and asked, "What should we do next? There's so much stuff. Where are we going to move it all with just us?" The bald man said calmly, "Don't be hasty. Before moving anything, we have to clear out the rats." After speaking, he looked towards Chu Duet's position. Chu Duet's face paled. The bald man looked at Chu Duet's shoes and said, "The mud outside the fishing grounds is very damp. It sticks to shoes easily. Careless young people need to be taught a lesson. Are you coming out on your own, or do we have to invite you out?" He threatened with a sinister smile. Within that space, Chu Duet and Chu On released their energy. Chu Duet rushed out, attacking the blonde man. He laughed scornfully. "So it's you. Looking for death this time, are you?" He released purple energy from a marble in his hand. The red marble shot straight towards Chu Duet. Just as it reached his face, he deflected it. The blonde man, with energy marbles swirling around him, said, "A cramped place like this, and you still want to hide." Chu Duet smirked, as if preparing something. "All right." Immediately after, Chu On attacked the blonde man from behind. A loud bang erupted. After landing the blow from behind, Chu On successfully took down the blonde man. Chu On frowned, saying, "Make it quick." However, Chu Duet cautioned, "Don't be careless. There's still a more formidable one left to deal with." At that moment, Chu On's eyes lit up with the bald man status. Jiutan Hui, male, 61 years old, ability, supercells, level 2, upgrade requirement, 3rd grade zombie crystal nucleus. 3, high chance of level up, level 5, 24%. Initial number of crystal nuclei required for upgrade, 1. Jiutan Hui looked towards Chu Duet as if sensing something. Immediately, Chu Duet and Chu On launched a combined attack now. Chu Duet from the left, Chu On from the right, but Tan Hui didn't even flinch. Chu Duet's attack reached the man's neck, but it was repelled. Chu Duet was shocked, thinking this old man, his skin is as hard as iron. If that's the case. As if coming to a decision, Chu Duet shouted, "Brother, sparring." Understanding Chu Duet's intent, Chu On replied, "Understood." At this moment, 2 elemental attacks were aimed directly at the old man. The attacks created an explosion, pushing both of them back. Chu Duet thought, even if he's immune to external wounds, I don't believe he can ignore internal injuries from the impact. Suddenly, Chu Duet realized something, his eyes widening. Tan Hui's body remained completely intact. He had absorbed the energy surrounding him from Chu Duet and Chu On. He raised his head, his eyes glowing an eerie red, and looked towards Chu Duet. Both Chu Duet and Chu On were horrified. Blood talisman. He can absorb our power too. Looking at his arm where he had absorbed their energy, Tan Hui calmly replied, "Not bad. The quality of your abilities is quite high, especially you, long-haired boy. You seem to have multiple abilities, don't you?" He laughed slyly. "You guys have the qualifications to join our team." Chu On asked, "Join your team?" Looking towards the goods, Tan Hui replied, "You came for these supplies, right? If you join our team, you can have as many supplies like these as you want." Chu Duet firmly replied, "We just witnessed a burn the bridge after crossing scenario. Do you think we'll believe you?" He denied, "No, we're not like those from the old world." Tan Hui said with a smile, "We, the awakened, are destined to become the rulers of the new world." A sinister aura emanated from him. Chu Duet then asked the awakened ruling the world, "What about ordinary people?" He replied with a cunning smile, "They will become the foundation of the new world under our protection." Chu Duet lowered his head, the foundation. At this moment, Chu Duet subtly signaled Chu On to do something. As if understanding the signal, Chu On took action. Chu Duet replied with a bored tone, which actually means slaves, right? He frowned. He seriously asked, "Have you ever seen the New World?" Chu Duet's head was lowered, his expression hidden. "I don't need to see it. Just the thought of a rabble like you ruling the world." He affirmed, "That smells disgusting." As if waiting for this moment, Chu On, holding Gao Xiaobei, shouted, "Chu Duet, let's go." Tan Hui noticed and looked in Chu On's direction. At this moment, Chu Duet slipped behind him and said with determination, "I will find you and extinguish this so-called new world." He realized with shock. Chu Duet, while running out the door, dropped a lighter. As soon as the lighter made contact with the flammable material, his face showed anger. A large explosion occurred. In a forest, Bang Bang was contacting Chu Duet's group. "Hey, can you hear me?" She asked anxiously. "Chu Duet, Chu On, please respond if you receive this." At this time, Chu Duet's mother walked out from behind a tree. Maybe they can't be reached anymore. "Yes, there was an explosion in the basement just now. I can't see clearly what happened." She agreed and looked towards the explosion. Suddenly, her ability revealed something to her. From within the explosion, deep inside, a gruesome hand appeared, shocking Bang Bang. Sensing Bang Bang's strangeness, her mother came to check on her. "What's wrong, dear?" She replied shakily, "Something's wrong. That Tier 3 zombie. It's awake." A figure emerged from behind the smoke. They were covered in rubble. One person emerged, reaching out a hand. Chu On quickly got up and asked, "Chu Duet, are you okay?" Chu Duet, coughing from the dust, replied, "I'm fine, just inhaled some smoke." Chu On exclaimed in panic, "Where's Gao Xiaobei?" Chu Duet simply replied, "He's all right. Over there, sleeping soundly." Gao Xiaobei was not only unharmed, but also sleeping peacefully. Chu On looked around and said, "Such a loud noise, and he didn't even wake up. I'm impressed. It's a pity so many supplies burned." Chu Duet also stood up, brushing the dust and debris off his shoulders, and said, "It's better than leaving them for those guys." Chu On's face suddenly changed. Speaking of those awakened, he asked, "Chu Duet, you seem to understand them quite well." Chu Duet didn't say anything, just lowered his head silently. After a moment, he replied, "Nothing much, just a bunch of arrogant scum. Just like Lin Xiang, they're all threats that need to be dealt with. Let's go, we should head back." Chu On didn't know what to say, but it seemed like she sensed something nearby. Suddenly looking down at the ground, she was terrified. She saw the earth and rocks suddenly explode, erupting upwards from below. She stumbled backward. "What's happening?" She immediately understood. This is a monstrous, bald figure with a massive, muscular body emerged from the explosion. Chu Duet immediately felt something was wrong. Impossible. "You're still alive." The man, with bloodshot eyes, looked grotesque, not like a normal human. "He's Sheng Hui." At this moment, in the forest, a car was parked. A woman's voice rang out, full of frustration. "Chu Duet, can you hear me? Answer me." It was Bang Bang, leaning against the car, holding a phone in anger. "That Tier 3 zombie is moving. You guys need to come back." CF Fong beside her said, "Don't panic yet. Maybe the signal can't reach underground. Besides, Gao Xiaobei is with them. If anything really happens, they can escape safely." Bang Bang slowly replied, but CF Fong smirked and said, "I didn't expect my son to make you worry so much. On the contrary, I, as his mother, am a bit useless." Bang Bang waved her hands shyly in denial. "No, Auntie, that's not what I meant." CF Fong walked and talked back when Chu Duet's father was selling explosives in the square. "I worried just like you, afraid that one day he'd have a stroke and blow himself up. But worrying is useless. Sometimes you have to be realistic." As she spoke, she reached into the trunk of the car to retrieve something. Bang Bang just silently watched CF Fong. CF Fong smirked. "We women have to rely on ourselves." Meanwhile, back with Chu Duet, Sheng Hui was attacking them. He struck at Chu On. She used her power to defend, but was still pushed back several steps. Sheng Hui's strength was so great that it knocked both Chu Duet and Chu On back, shattering the ground and rocks. They helped each other up, glaring at Sheng Hui with burning rage. Chu On said, "This bastard, not only is he not dead, he's become even stronger." Chu Duet shouted, "Is this the power of supercells?" Sheng Hui then spoke hoarsely, surprising. "You actually recognize my ability. My cells have a defense mechanism." He raised his massive hands. "When my body is threatened, my cells adapt to the level and nature of the danger, becoming stronger." He clenched his fists, demonstrating his full power. Sheng Hui, radiating power, said, "When my ability reached Tier 2, my cells could not only defend against external threats, but also absorb and transform them." Like this, he retracted the power he had just unleashed. Then, he immediately charged forward like a madman, his arms brimming with power. Both Chu Duet and Chu On began to channel their own powers, and used their power to easily and quickly dodge Sheng Hui's attack. They combined their strength to form a spinning punch, and punched Sheng Hui directly in the back. But Sheng Hui didn't react at all. This made Chu On a little bewildered. Suddenly, Sheng Hui flung Chu On backwards, causing her to fall directly onto the large rocks behind. Chu On looked like she was unconscious. Seeing this, Chu Duet yelled, "Brother." Sheng Hui turned to look. At this moment, two streams of green and red power appeared in Chu Duet's eyes. He stomped hard and charged forward. A terrifying power emanated from Chu Duet as he charged forward recklessly. Sheng Hui also turned to fight Chu Duet. He lunged forward to punch Sheng Hui. Sheng Hui also stepped forward, determined to engage in direct combat. He punched Sheng Hui, but Sheng Hui just laughed and said, "I told you, the more threatened I am, the stronger my cells become. As long as my cells retain their original nature." He was completely unharmed and sneered, "Then I am invincible." On a night with a crescent moon, Xie Fong and Bang Bang were standing in front of the gate of what looked like a barracks. Bang Bang said, "These people, could they be Chu Duet's doing?" Inside, all around, the people in the barracks had been dealt with. They lay scattered everywhere. Xie Fong said, "No, they were shot dead." The barracks inside were dilapidated and old. Suddenly, a soldier was struck down in front. Someone behind the wall had attacked him. Xie Fong stepped back to shield Bang Bang, careful. It was Blockhead. He shot the people in the barracks as if it were nothing. "Damn it, I'm covering the stuff again. So disgusting." He counted the remaining workshops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then, raising his gun, he shouted, "Don't miss a single one." He pulled the trigger. A shot rang out, hitting the soldier who had just been struck down, right where Xie Fong and Bang Bang were hiding. Bang Bang was afraid, unsure if he knew they were there. Blockhead said, "There are two more. Come out, throw that thing out here." It turned out he knew all along and just wanted to toy with their fear. Bang Bang fearfully said to Xie Fong, "Annie, what should we do?" Xie Fong, also tense, replied, "Don't be afraid. Leave it to me." They slowly stepped out, putting their hands behind their heads. Blockhead said, "You two don't look like you're lost, do you? Are you with the two from this morning?" "Where are they?" They remained silent. Blockhead chuckled again. "Looking closer, you two are quite beautiful. You take good care of your skin. I'd love to cut you both up and see what's inside." He licked his lips perversely, as if wanting to devour them alive. Suddenly, Xie Fong yelled towards the back, "Chu Duet." Blockhead immediately turned to look behind him. At that moment, Xie Fong quickly lunged towards Blockhead, trying to snatch the gun from his hand. With a kick, his gun went flying. Blockhead, finally turning back, was startled. Blockhead laughed heartily and said, "Your moves are pretty impressive. You're making this more and more fun. Let's play a little game, shall we?" Xie Fong was focusing his energy, gathering his internal strength to fight Blockhead. Elsewhere, Sheng Hui was choking Chu Duet. He said angrily, "You're different from the other espers I've encountered. You saw through my ability instantly. You can use two types of esper powers simultaneously, and you seem to understand this new world." Chu Duet choked, couldn't speak. Sheng Hui continued, "You have so many secrets, don't you? Tell me about them." Chu Duet glared at him, wanting nothing more than to tear him apart. Suddenly, he realized something. "This is that cold air." Sheng Hui, losing patience, yelled, "Speak." But Chu Duet laughed. Sheng Hui, bewildered, asked, "What are you laughing at?" "You're dying." Chu Duet replied, "I'm laughing at your arrogance and ignorance. You think you're chosen by God, that you'll become the rulers of this new world, with normal humans as slaves and zombies as prey. But in the end, you'll fall at the feet of those slaves and prey." These words enraged Sheng Hui, who tightened his grip on Chu Duet's throat and slammed him into the ground, shattering the rocks beneath him. Chu Duet coughed up blood. Burning with rage, he said, "You think I believe that?" Weakly, lying amongst the rubble, he continued, "If there really is a God in this world, you're nothing but those he abandoned." Unable to bear it any longer, Sheng Hui roared, "Shut up." He unleashed his full power. causing a massive explosion of red light. Chu Duat also surged forward, grinning contemptuously at Sheng Hui. In the distance, a figure appeared. Sheng Hui slowly approached, consumed by rage. He glared at Chu Duat with hatred. Cell activity gone. His power was fading. Suddenly, a pale, cold hand emerged from the ground. He turned to look. The hand grasped his leg, moaning, "So cold." Sheng Hui roared in fury. "You set me up." Chu Duat just smirked. "I can't fight back, so I can't call for help." A zombie crawled out of the ground. "So cold that give me fire." Sheng Hui recoiled, backing away from it. He stood silent, unsure what to do. Then, Chu Duat carried Chu on away. Chu Duat thought, "I need to find Gao Xiaobei." He said, "Let's get out of here." Suddenly, a flash of light. The zombie was struck down. Chu Duat was shocked. What? Night was falling. Xie Fong was still fighting the hounds, but she wasn't losing ground. She counterattacked fiercely. This time, she swiftly kicked one of them in the face. He was sent flying, crashing to the ground. Xie Fong, seemingly unfazed, looked down at him coldly. Bang Bang, astonished, exclaimed, "Annie, you're so strong." That ugly guy was seriously injured, but he still wouldn't accept it and kept running his mouth. "Impossible. I'm a combat trainer. How could I lose to a woman?" Xie Fong just smirked and mocked him. "Trainer, you're more like a punching bag." He saw the gun on the ground and immediately yelled frantically, "Damn it, I'll kill you." She realized his intention and turned back, shouting, "Bang Bang." The metal pipe. Bang Bang quickly threw the pipe to Xie Fong. "Here." She caught the pipe perfectly with one hand. The ugly guy grabbed the gun and started to load it, but he was a step too slow. She slammed the metal pipe into his head. He collapsed to the ground. Showing no mercy, Xie Fong thrust the pipe into his head, finishing him off coldly. "One-on-one with me. You should have known your place." Having dealt with him, she slowly stood up. Xie Fong called out to Bang Bang, "Bang Bang, lead the way." She replied obediently and cheerfully, "Yes." But unexpectedly, at this moment she transformed. Her face became terrifying. Xie Fong turned and directly attacked Bang Bang. But luckily, she stopped abruptly just as she was about to reach Bang Bang's face. Bang Bang froze in terror, not daring to move. She stammered fearfully, "Annie." Xie Fong regained consciousness and struggled with her arm, as if she couldn't control it. Her trembling arm seemed to still want to attack Bang Bang. One of Xie Fong's eyes was bloodshot. She strained to speak. "That little bastard is escaping from my body." Immediately, that terrifying face reappeared, but it wasn't Xie Fong. He yelled maniacally, "How is this possible? Your consciousness should have been eliminated." He clutched his face and laughed triumphantly, as if he had completely possessed Xie Fong's consciousness. "The taste of your soul." He glanced over with a terrifying sneer that is as putrid as those walking corpses. Then, another strange thing happened. A blue light emanated from Xie Fong's body. A soul appeared and was burning intensely. It was the evil soul possessing her, being incinerated. He screamed in agony, "Wait, what is this? It's so hot. It hurts." The blue flames burned more and more fiercely. He shrieked miserably, "Stop, no." And then, in just a moment, he was completely burned away, only managing to utter no. At this time, Sheng Hui, now transformed into a level 2 Esper, was staring at Chu Duat. Chu Duat looked at him and suddenly realized something. He threatened coldly, trying to leave. "You're the one who lured it here. Don't think you can escape so easily." Under the rubble, a person transformed into an Esper lay motionless. Chu Duat frowned, sensing the difficulty of the situation, and clicked his tongue in annoyance. He flew into a rage and roared, "You'll all die here." But before he could finish his sentence, an arm pierced through his chest. Sheng Hui froze, looking down at the wound in disbelief. The puncture wound in his chest began to freeze, spreading outwards. In just a moment, he was completely frozen. He could only utter helplessly why. His entire body gradually shattered and vanished. Again like this. The one who just finished off Sheng Hui. He's also transformed into an Esper state. He keeps muttering, "Still not enough." Both his hands are frozen, his stomach pierced, but he's unharmed. He continuously mutters, "Cold, so cold." Chu Duat, observing him with his Esper ability, is taken aback by how difficult he seems to deal with. His face flushed, he shouts, "Quick, quick, bring fire to warm me." Chu Duat doesn't hesitate, quickly rushing to attack him. He uses his Esper ability to create blue flames that immediately incinerate him. Not only that, Chu Duet uses his dagger to attack further. He jumps up and slashes powerfully at his neck. Chu Duet's dagger instantly freezes. Unexpectedly, not just the dagger, but his entire arm freezes as well. Damn it, just a light touch and it's frozen solid. Chu Duet struggles to move, but can't. No good, I can't even lift the dagger. The Esper zombie clutches his neck and yells. The wound on his neck freezes over. He then prepares to attack Chu Duet again. He leaps towards Chu Duet, who is gradually freezing. But surprisingly, a blow from somewhere strikes the Esper zombie squarely in the face. Then a loud explosion rings out, and blue flames erupt, incinerating him. He lies amidst the rubble, burning fiercely. A familiar voice calls out, "Need a hand, son." Chu Duet immediately turned around. It's Sief Fong and Bang Bang, who have come to his aid. Mom, and Bang Bang too. Unexpectedly, Sief Fong and Bang Bang arrived just in time to save him. Sief Fong calmly asks, "Xiao Chuet, are you alright?" Bang Bang also looks incredibly worried. "Your hand is injured from the freezing." Chu Duet calmly replies to them both, "I'm fine, but my brother is badly injured." His comrade, frozen by the Esper zombie, was struck down, his fate unknown. Sief Fong looks at the Esper zombie and asks, "Was it that monster over there?" Chu Duet nods. "Yes." Hearing this, she immediately frowns in anger. "How dare it touch my people?" In an instant, with astonishing speed, Sief Fong rushes towards the Esper zombie. She uses her Esper ability, generating a surge of power from her hand, and says, "Die." She then lightly throws it at the zombie. The attack is terrifyingly powerful, a blinding flash of blue light. The attack leaves a large scorch mark on the ground, still burning blue. The zombie is frozen and motionless. Then, slowly, the ice around him cracks. He immediately breaks free from the ice and lunges to attack. Chu Duet rushes behind him, raising his dagger. He immediately plunges the dagger through his chest. This slash is no simple attack. A power emanates from the dagger. A growing blue light appears on his chest. Then, it instantly explodes violently, shattering one side of his body. He collapses on the ground, at the feet of Chu Duet and Sief Fong. Chu Duet looks at him and says with relief, "Finally taken care of." Sief Fong also looks and says, "Unexpectedly tough." Sief Fong then said to Chu Duet, "Let's go. Help your mother up. We need to regroup with the others." He looked at his mother and nodded. "Okay." Suddenly, Bang Bang, who was ahead of them, shouted in fear, "Careful, he's still alive." A large block of ice rose up right behind the mother and son. The Esper zombie had actually regenerated its body and emerged from the ice to attack. Sief Fong immediately turned and used her Esper ability to attack it. However, this time it was able to defend itself. Chu Duet quickly flew towards the zombie. Unexpectedly, it retreated back into the ice to dodge the attack. Chu Duet watched and immediately thought of a countermeasure. "No good. I can't inflict any damage on him. I have to finish him off with one blow, but my current strength isn't enough." He turned and landed back on the ground. The Esper zombie stepped out of the ice. Chu Duet noticed it approaching. Suddenly, there was a box on the ground, and inside was a purple stone. Chu Duet turned and looked at the box. This is what that person dropped earlier. At that moment, the attacks of the Esper zombie and Sief Fong collided and exploded. Sief Fong was using all her strength to fight back. This guy is getting stronger and stronger. Sensing the situation was bad, she ordered, "Shoot it, Bang Bang. You two get everyone and retreat. I'll hold him off." Bang Bang hesitated worriedly, but Bang Bang pondered sadly, "Damn it, my Esper ability isn't suited for direct combat. It wasn't easy to get out of the city to practice shooting, but in this kind of fight, are normal guns really useful on the battlefield?" However, she quickly turned and decided, "I can't just rush in. I have to get Chu on out of here first." Sief Fong, while fiercely fighting the Esper zombie, looked around for Chu Duet. Where's Chu Duet? Where did he run off to at a time like this? In a moment of carelessness, she was immediately hit in the stomach by a chunk of ice thrown by the zombie. The force of the attack sent Sief Fong crashing into a rock. She coughed up blood in pain. The Esper zombie roared ferociously. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Why do you guys also like to protect your loved ones? Immediately, a hand grabbed the Esper zombie's face. It was Chew Do It. He appeared so quickly that the Esper zombie didn't have time to react. He grabbed it and effortlessly dragged it away. Get lost. That's how our family is. It's become a habit. Xiefeng struggled to look up and called out. Chew Do It. Blood domain, Esper ability. Evolution complete. At this moment, Chew Do It's face was filled with excitement, his eyes glowing red. He took a running start and threw the Esper zombie far away. The zombie crashed back into its own ice and exploded. It was still alive and continued to charge forward madly. It created large chunks of ice and hurled them towards Chew Do It. He widened his strange red eyes. Chew Do It was now surrounded by a blazing red flame. He immediately raised his dagger and launched an attack towards the Esper zombie. The ice exploded and burned fiercely. The Esper zombie was immediately engulfed in the blazing flames. It stopped roaring and gradually disappeared. Chew Do It gripped the dagger tightly in his hand. Let's go. He looked towards the rising sun and sighed in relief. Let's go home. My video ends here. Above is a summary of the story. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more interesting videos. For now, goodbye and see you again. Bye-bye.